Welcome.
Hello.
We've made it to
Hello.
episode 85. Barely.
85.
Yeah, I still got to re-upload last week's episode because we messed it up. But
Wow.
but this is 85.
It's kind of nuts.
So we've talked about the crazy Tampa convention, the Ink the Bay, a few times. And
yes.
I had the privilege of meeting Kayla there
Oh, nice.
through the tattoo competitions. And she's got a fantastic Medusa that was kind of like one of the showstoppers for the whole event. So,
Nice.
she was able to join us this week. Kayla, I don't know if you know Todd. Todd's one of our friends. He's from up in the Detroit area, and he's got just some fantastic work. He's got some work from Megan Jean Morris. If he starts showing it off, you'll recognize his work and exactly who he is. So
Awesome.
So today what we're going to do is I have two of our coworkers from here at Red Tree / Hell City waiting on me. And we're going to go up to High Street and we're going to like old school street team style hand out flyers. So
day.
we're going to have short
Nice.
shorts on, showing off all of our bright, colorful leg tattoos because we're all
Mhm.
like covered, and talk to random strangers about tattoos
I
and
love it.
art and see what we get into.
Reel them in, ladies.
Like there's a chance we might go visit a friend of ours at the Joint.
Uh-oh.
So that could happen too.
That's always a good time.
It's going to be one of the like partially mobile episodes. So I'll be on the run. I might have my phone muted a lot, but I'm going to share with you what we're doing and where we're going.
Can we sing Fawn on the run?
I think that's appropriate.
Okay.
I think that's
amazing.
fully appropriate.
All right, sorry.
That's a whole
I won't-
segment.
I won't do that ever again.
That's a whole
I
segment.
think it should be. I
It
think it's
should
our new
be.
intro
All
music
right.
for anytime you travel.
Fawn on the run.
Write it
Nothing
down.
runs like a deer.
Aw.
Oh. Okay. All right.
I
Well.
was kind of sad. I don't know why.
Oh, and this is Ben, by the
Oh,
way.
hi, I'm Ben.
This is Ben. He's a tattoo aficionado as well.
I'm just here.
All right.
Aficionado.
Me and my Fago are going to get on the road and we're going to rejoin you in
Get
just
your
a few
Fago on
minutes.
the road.
So I'm going to go grab my listening device and I'll rejoin in just a few minutes.
Safe travels.
I'll
See you
probably
guys
be a
soon.
little bit higher.
A little bit?
A little bit.
I don't believe in a little bit.
Okay.
I believe it'd be higher, but a little is come on.
See you guys in a few.
All right, mate.
Shoot for the stars.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing she's known for, it's not going small. I'm just
No,
with smoke.
that's true.
There's never been a time where like, well, should we roll another one? Because it's already being rolled. That's not a question we ask very often.
Yeah, if you have to ask, the answer,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like it's more like, did we bring enough to roll another one? It's probably more an appropriate question.
Well, we had plenty at Empire.
I saw your
Right.
guys' outside shenanigans. It was refreshing. How's 12 down in New York now? When last time I was there, it was super thick, and they were pretty anti-smoking weed on the streets. So you running any
you
problems?
You can walk down the street smoking a joint now in New York and not get bothered one bit.
Man,
That's awesome, dude.
times have changed.
Cops, oh, ain't it? I mean, you're out there
Wow.
smoking, a cop walks by and you go, "Hey, how's it going, officer?"
Wow.
We won. What can we say?
We won. I like that. That's the way you take it. We won.
We won the war on drugs.
I say we tiptoed into winning. And I wouldn't say that they still collect a tariff, like let's just throw that out there. They won. We have to pay them in order to do something that should come from the ground. So
But hey, we came from the era of Cheech and Chong, and we always knew that taxes were going to be a part of it. It became legal, and we accepted it as a necessary evil of being able to smoke legally.
well, it's
I
the
mean-
necessary evil of doing anything inside of the United States. If you want to fish, you owe those motherfuckers $12.50, and you better show up and have a picture ID and a piece of mail and prove that you're a resident. And we're talking about to go to your local pond and catch bluegills. Like, okay,
Down here in Florida, it is wild. They are hard on that stuff.
oh for sure.
Michigan,
bad.
too, big time. Our DNR is right there all the time. You can't get away with it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm supporting poaching by any means, but like the thickness of ODNR in Ohio is dumb. Like I kind of feel like I missed a calling and I should have just gotten a job there because they're not cops, but they're cops.
No.
You know, they're like outside cops, which is like a ranger, but with less school, you know, going to school to be a ranger, like a national park ranger, is longer than going to be a doctor.
What?
Yeah. Like
That's wild.
it requires an insane amount of schooling to be on like the national park level. There is a park ranger inside of a national park has more security clearance than any other governing agent available.
Wow.
So like crazy stuff goes down in the national park. Guess who's involved first?
Wow. Man, you learn something every day. I did not know that.
There's a weird string of documentaries about all the people missing and all the crimes that have happened inside. That's the only reason I know, because I'm a dork and I watch documentaries. But yeah, they're their own cops. So what are you working on? I see you down there working away.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh,
one of the rest of us create.
I see. Sorry. No, I'm just working on a drawing. After I got my tattoo, it's been like 10 years since I picked up like any kind of medium to draw, just to draw
Right.
anything. And I started drawing a pomegranate like a month ago, and I got the new iPad Pro. And I mean, having not drawn in like 10 years with anything, I was like, let's start with digital. It's a little more forgiving. Because I'm a little OCD about control, and if it's not perfect, I hate it. So and that has definitely made its way into my recent like tattoo taste as well. Like I'm kind of a perfectionist about it now, and I don't want to say I'm snobby by any means, but I'm like really critical of it now. But I started working
permanent.
with Procreate.
You should be.
Yeah.
We're fans.
You
of
know, I've got $20 shitty tattoos that I got when I was 18 because it was the lucky 20 night. And I've got my good pieces, and I can always tell the difference. And by the $20 shitty, my best friend growing up, her mom was like one of the only tattoo artists in our town. And I grew up in a very small town up in the Pacific Northwest. And she's not in it anymore, so she can't get in trouble, but she let us tattoo ourselves.
Nice.
As in each other. So I've got some memorable ones, but it's about time for it to get covered up. So that's what we're working on right now.
Just leave a blank like washout space, and then shit tattoo, and then more washout space. Like just halo it.
Cross it out and
let it run. Let it run. Let it run. I still have some of my less collectible choices. Look at me phrasing shit. Wow. Yeah, I still got my shitty tattoos. We just blended them in. Like, you know what? Just put some clouds around it and blast some black next to it. It'll be fine.
You know, we're currently working on my leg sleeve on my right, and we just started it. We're working on like the main focal piece of that leg. And one of said iconic tattoos of my youth was a Jesus fish. Don't ask me why. I don't even think I can even cross through the threshold of a church without lighting on fire. Like, I'm not sure why the hell I got that tattoo. But yeah, here it is. We are actually covering it up with Hades, the god of the underworld. So irony at its finest.
That's a wonderful decision. Now, did the irony play have anything to do with your decision to go super dark, super fast?
No, I don't know. It didn't have anything to do with it. It was just a convenient joke that went along with it.
It just played well.
It did. It was a long game play, obviously. Right. I didn't know it at the time, but 12 years ago, something back there was making sense. I just didn't know it yet. So
what you're saying is the satire runs deep.
No.
It's been there, like just
waiting, my life is fueled by satire,
waiting.
sarcasm, and coffee.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm a fan of the majority of those things.
Chaotic balance.
Can't be wrong with that. My day's always a balance between how much weed do I smoke to slow down enough to be a normal human being, and then how much caffeine do I take in so I'm not asleep from said weed. So it's like smoke Red Bull, smoke some other caffeine, and then like maintain all that while you're at work, like trying to be an adult, like and hold like normal conversations. It's fun.
Yes.
I hope no one at my job listens to this. They just laugh. Let's be honest. They know. But yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. So this piece on your leg, let's talk about it. Let's hear about it. I saw it, pictures of it on the interwebs, but who did it?
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind it? What were you thinking when you decided on it?
So I actually did not go in with the mindset of having a piece that big at all.
Nice.
I was like, oh, I'm just going to get Medusa's head, you know, that classic cliche. It's kind of like a really saturated piece now in I guess the industry. And I was like, hey, this is my idea. I think what really worked for me is that I was really open to like just giving my artist, his name is Tony Kelly. Yeah, he's great guy. I kind of gave him the artistic freedom. I said, hey, this is my idea. These are the kind of ideas that I like. I sent him a bunch of inspiration photos and I told him exactly what I liked out of each picture and said, run with it. He's like, and he was like, now I get it. You said you wanted just your upper thigh, but hear me out.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
No,
and you know
amazing.
what? He told me over the phone, like while I'm on my way to the tattoo appointment. And now keep in mind, I haven't even seen this piece yet. He doesn't show it to you until you get there, like the day of, which I kind of like, because I think he takes a lot of time to kind of like research, and like pick your brain about why it's sentimental or why you want the piece. And he ties all of that in. And so he's like, now it's a full leg piece. And so like I'm driving just like, what am I doing? Oh my gosh. And I get there and I see it. I was like, oh my gosh. I never could have imagined it being any other way now that I have it.
Right.
I never could have imagined getting it any other way. And it goes all the way from my high hip all the way to my ankle.
Beautiful. That's
Well,
committing. Go ahead, Todd.
I always tell new collectors that if you're gonna do something, it should be larger in scale.
Yeah.
It's a better impact on just from a visual standpoint.
Well, if your goal is to heavy collect, why start small? If your commitment level is going to be there.
Yeah. Well,
but there's a thing to that though. You have to work yourself up to long hours. I mean, you just can't sit down and expect to sit 10 hours. It's that whole experience. I mean, I topped out at 6 my first time. I mean, well, my very first tattoo, but my very first tattoo that I got was a piece of flash that took an hour and a half. I mean, you know, so when you start getting larger and larger, the pain becomes a much different topic.
It's kind of the artist's responsibility in my mind as a collector, because I'm not an artist. I'm saying this from a purely outside of the industry point of view, but like it's up to your artist to be like, hey, you are now handling this pretty poorly, and know that you're early stages of your collecting and have the mindset of we might break this down into 5-hour sessions. It's almost a commitment on both your parts. And if you're not honest about that, and your artist is I don't want to say inexperienced. I don't like dogging on people. That's not what I mean. But like, I kind of feel it's a responsibility on both your parts to understand that what you're undertaking. Like, not intuitive,
right, to the client necessarily.
Right. And I'm not saying that you can't. I don't know. I feel like it's part of the artist part too. If you're trying to map out a giant back piece on somebody that just started collecting, know that that's going to be done in little teeny tiny chunks, and you're going to be piecing that together forever.
Well, the Medusa piece on my leg, the tattooing alone, this didn't because it's a freehand piece. All of it's freehand. So I didn't include the drawing time that he spent drawing this onto my leg. Just the tattoo time was 27 hours.
Jeez.
And then we broke that up into there was one like 9-hour set. There was like 2 9-hour sessions, an 8-hour session, and then one session got broken up into drawing and then outline. And we basically outlined the whole thing the first session, and then we came back in the next 3 sessions and finished it. But I completely agree. I'm when I booked with him, I booked full day sessions because I was committing to a piece that size. I'd rather make it worth both of our time and pay the full day rate versus see how long I can hang on. I mean, it's got to get finished. Like, what are you going to do? Walk around with half of a tattoo on your leg? I mean, so I'm sure some people do, but I have this thing about
I got a tattoo that's not finished.
Yeah, I've got tattoos that aren't finished.
So does my husband. And my very first piece was a tribal on my ribs.
I mean, you got to start somewhere.
I mean, the cover up, the cover up that I won at Empire with, that tattoo underneath it was never finished.
Made it easier to cover, I'm sure.
Well, not really. It was a pretty big piece and it was pretty dark. So yeah.
Nice.
But you know, I only had 2 tattoos that took a while to finish. The cover up, I consider that, and then I started this Godzilla piece with Randy Engelhart, and then he had immigration problems, so it took 4 years for him to clear that up before he could come back.
Wow.
So
that's patience.
Patience.
That's
I
patience.
had no choice.
I didn't say it wasn't forced patience. You could have blasted over it. I mean,
seriously? No.
No,
I mean,
no, I'm being kidding. You know that.
I know. I get people go, what are you gonna do when you're finished? Because I'm almost done, and it's like, well, just refresh the older ones and just that be it. You're not gonna cover them up. I'm going cover
Cover
up
what?
this. Are you
Cover.
serious?
You still see that? I know. I'm a big fan of going pack it all back in. Technologies have changed. Inks have changed. Colors have changed. Go back in and pack some brightness into all that. I just had my arm redone. Same color, same person. Just lighten me up, buddy. Why not? He was bored. I was bored. Let's get at it.
You know, I figured I would be refreshing them after some time because, you know, tattoos age.
Right. Especially if you've got like the yellows with no backing or the, you know. Yep.
I mean, this bit right here has lost all kinds of orange and yellows out of it. Right in here, there used to be a ton of orange. And this is 10 years old now.
I was thinking about that the other day. One of the ladies I work with was like, that flower on your shin is just so bright. And they've never had a tattoo in their life. And they're like, you work for a convention where they tattoo people? So it's like a whole culture shock and separation there. But like, I'm like, yeah, and that's like 8 years old. She's like, no way. Yeah.
Like the ideas, the ideas around tattoos are shifting. Thank God, because I work part-time as a server at a brunchery, and I'm in South Florida, so it's hot all the time. It's always hot. So I'm always in shorts. And so my leg piece is always out, and the majority of the people that come in are retired. The restaurant's like in a nice, like gated community area. So there's a lot of retired people and snowbirds and stuff.
Right.
And I get stopped at least twice a day by somebody asking about my tattoo. Most of them are just curious and they just want to know, you know, like, oh, how long did that take? And then you tell them and they're like, oh my God, you're crazy. Well, you know, different strokes for different folks. Yeah. I don't mind it. You know, I like the end game of what I get from it.
Right. It's all in the approach. It's all in the approach from the other person. I was recently in Tennessee and down at like continental breakfast at the hotel and got stopped by one of the workers who basically asked me if my parents still loved me and if I thought I was going to get into heaven. And it was like a half hour of like, Well, I don't mean to fact check you, but like you read that book you're talking about there.
I
So
think somewhere in there it says, "Don't do what you're doing now."
yeah, that's called judging.
Yes.
There's a whole lot about that. There's one verse in the whole Bible that talks about tattoos, and it says not to mark yourself with a tattoo for the dead, because they used to make ink out of dead ash, like dead people's ashes. They would burn them, but they didn't have like 10,000 BTU furnaces back in the day. They threw them on a fucking piece of log and scooped up little body chunks. It wasn't clean, pure ash. It was little pieces of flesh. And then when they put that into people's skin, it gave them infections and diseases and it died. So like, that's what it's taught. Just like don't eat fish on Friday has absolutely nothing to do with it's unholy to consume fish. It's because it's bad in the marketplace because it was caught on Tuesday. Like there's a lot of logic there, and it was really tough to sit there and be polite and be like, well, actually, you don't even know what you're talking about. So what's up?
My artist posted this, the picture of my piece once it healed and everything on Instagram, and it took off. It got like 80,000 something likes or something like
Nice.
that. I don't know. I quit checking, but there's hundreds of comments on there, and I would like just scroll through and look for, just look at them, see what they were saying. Absolutely. And somebody commented, "Why would you do that to your body?" Somebody else commented a Bible verse, specifically a Bible verse about how women are supposed to be subordinate to their husbands because we don't know what we're talking about. And so I quoted Deuteronomy, which talks about what should happen to men when they rape women and dropped it right below. And that's all I left. I was like, you probably shouldn't be talking about stuff that you don't know about. But the person was like, why would you do that to your body? Don't you know that God doesn't like that? I'm like,
Wait. You ever been to a temple that didn't have a picture in it?
Yeah. I'm going somewhere with this. I was like, the body, the body's a temple. Yeah, whatever. People like to say that. But have you ever heard of the Sistine Chapel? Do you know how long Michelangelo spent painting that thing? And people don't complain about that. But when I do it to my body and I pay with it with my money, it's a problem.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Well, if you did it for Jesus, like if there was a ministry involved, I got tattooed to witness, I think maybe you could get away with it. But see, the problem is it's all perception and interpretation. And Absolutely. You can literally find any words that you want to coincide with any point that you have. If you Google hard enough, that's the beauty of that book. It kind of contradicts itself on both sides. Like Google, one side
how
says,
can
like,
I be right?
Right, exactly.
See, the only feedback I ever get on my bad feedback I ever get on my tattoos are from the church ladies.
They can't help themselves.
The church ladies, they can't help them. They can't help themselves. They always have to have an opinion about everything. And it's like, why don't you just mind your own goddamn business? You might be a little more happier in life.
My mom is a church lady. My mom was the secretary of a church for 14 years. My dad was a kids pastor, a deacon. Like, I grew up in that life. So I love just being super polite. You're like, oh yeah, okay. Do you remember the part where it says women shouldn't speak in the church? Oh, did we skip over that whole part?
Are we picking and choosing when to apply these principles?
Do you remember when they used to bury people up to their necks and hit them with fucking rocks? Okay. Whatever. All right.
I mean, it's the hypocrisy of it. It just cracks me up. I mean, if I go back into my ancestries, I'm part Mayan and part Aztec, but the Mayans had a god for tattooing. Mm-hmm. I mean, through cultural, tattooing's been around since we've been drawn on freaking caves. So, people trying to make fun of it and everything else. Well, it's part of the DNA of humanity. It's been there since the beginning, and it will continue to keep going.
Just on any,
it's not something that's it's not going to die.
Anything. Any space of ignorance will breed hate. something you don't understand that doesn't necessarily ring the same bells that you live your life to leaves a space for misinterpretation. And people are so self-entitled with this
sanctimonious approach.
beautifully beautifully worded, because like the fuck, like, you don't know me. If you're unwilling to take the time to figure out that I'm not a piece of shit in a normal conversation without being judgy, I don't want to fucking talk to you anyway. Thank you, Tattoo Bubble.
Yeah,
thank you, Tattoo Bubble.
100%.
And if you're that brazen to try to start an argument with me in Kroger, come at me, bitch.
Like, you're at Kroger, not Trader Joe's.
Yeah, not Trader Joe's. Okay, I'll fight you at Trader Joe's too.
You're like, I might entertain this in Whole Foods.
So I didn't start getting tattooed until I was really 45. I mean, I did it when I was 27, a couple, the one and then the Godzilla one. But I stopped for 15 years and then started getting it. So I have a lot of friends that don't get getting tattooed. So when I got my neck tattooed and posted it, one of my friends goes, "Did you get your neck tattooed like a criminal?"
Like a
I mean, he literally said that to me.
Are you now going to steal my car, Todd? Are you coming to steal my car?
You're like, nope, just your common sense.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's like if you came to my house and saw that I had different art than you liked hanging on my wall, you gonna be mad? What if I listened to jazz fusion? Fuck off. Like, right? You gonna be mad at me of the choices I made and how I like to express myself?
Do you know how much work I get done listening to that shit?
Jazz fusion?
I get so much stuff done.
Because you can't stop.
So all the things.
It's almost scary.
Yeah.
Where's it coming from? Oh my God. Is that a flute? What the fuck? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
My one friend that I've known for like 40 years, he goes, I hadn't seen him for a while, and he goes, "Hey, it's Illustrated Man." But he's joking, you know. And yeah, so you know, I mean, he was joking about it and that, but you know, the general public still don't get it. Some of them, you know, and especially in conservative areas, and I'm in a very conservative area, so some of the looks, it's funny. They like look at you funny, but if I go outside of this area, like New York, I mean, I couldn't believe how many people go, "Wow, you got amazing tattoos." I mean, I got that a lot in New York.
I get that more than I get the backlash. I definitely get a lot more compliments than I do criticisms.
My favorite is, "Wow, I didn't know they could do that."
Yeah.
Oh, I will take that all day. I'll take that all day.
Or it's look at the colors. And it's like, yeah, they're colors.
They can tattoo green now. That's my favorite. Like, wow, is that purple? Wow. And if the approach is correct, I will stop my day to have a fun, lighthearted, educational, for lack of a better term, conversation with somebody who's genuinely interested. If your approach is, "Wow, that's amazing. Can we hold on a sec?" Like, how when you're rude about it or start randomly touching me without even having a conversation, or just start lifting up my pant leg or whatever, it gets weird. Don't touch me.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're not on a first name basis. Don't be rubbing my skin. That's weird.
Yep.
I don't know you. Did you just touch my hand?
You're like, you need to wine and dine me first, okay?
Heck yes. Like, what's my last name? Okay. No, so I had this lady literally walk up behind me and like graze the underside of my pinky and like lift my arm. And I'm just like petrified. Like, because I don't want to
like that.
I don't want to twitch and accidentally knock her out. And now I'm like this woman beating heathen in the middle of Lazarus or wherever. I don't even remember where it was. Is Lazarus even still a store? And it was like, I really didn't know what to do. And she was just being inquisitive, but I didn't want to be touched. But like, Coof, look at Fantastic beaming in.
Hey,
Street team.
Made it. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. Look at that. Look at that portable speaker you're rocking.
Yeah, My JBL.
It
Hopefully.
looks as if you are rocking a deflated travel pillow. Can I throw that out there?
It could be.
Like your pillow got a hole in it and it's just the saddest little droopy pillow of all times.
But it's got nice sound.
Okay. Fair
Well,
enough.
Deflated pillow doesn't have that.
Probably
Are you
not.
smoking a joint walking down the high street?
It's not lit yet.
It's
Oh.
not even lit yet. Damn, Judgy McJudgerson.
It's not
Fawn,
New York
we were-
City. That's why I'm asking.
Right.
It's Columbus, Ohio.
You might get hemmed up.
There's a huge difference between the two cities.
Right.
We are
We-
on High Street.
We are on
I
High
like
Street.
High Street in Columbus.
It
High
should be
Street's-
permitted vis-a-vis the
Isn't-
name.
Isn't North Shore off of High Street?
Yep, Short North. That's the
Short
The
North,
little
that's what it
strip.
was. Yeah. My
Fun.
my
We were just
husband
talking-
worked up there
oh,
for a
sorry.
couple of years. No, you're
Nice.
good. And High Street was like one of our favorite spots to go to.
Where did you work?
Well, he's a contractor, he's a lineman. So
Nice.
he does contract work all over the country. And so he was up in Columbus over by the Polaris Mall. And yeah, so a whole lot of projects up there.
Oh yeah. So Fawn, briefly before you joined, we were just talking about public tattoo couth and how invasive the Gen Pop can be. And with having a team out on the street, has anyone yet been invasive?
Not yet, but it's only been about 2.5 minutes.
The night is
We need another
young.
three. She needs another 3 minutes.
give it like 4.
Yeah, the night is
I'm so
young.
sorry.
It's a funny conversation to have because the cat calling and meat tagging is totally different when you're covered in tattoos. People make
Did you just say
assumptions.
meat tagging?
Yeah, meat tagging.
I have never heard that term in my life, and I've been a filth
You've
ball
never
my
heard
entire
meat
life.
tagging?
Meat
that's a thing.
tagging? That
You know,
sounds.
when somebody looks at you like a piece of meat. Yeah.
But
I
then
thought I
you
was
can.
tagging a dick pic.
Yeah, I was like, but then you can tag them. Like, is that? That sounds like
I
jail
mean-
time. I'm just saying. I don't want to go to jail. It's not my thing.
There we go.
Look at the hustle and bustle.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's nice.
P.S.
people are
MFing
out.
gorgeous. Oh, hi, Jess.
Do what?
I said it's MFing gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, it is. I left my cream soda in the van.
Oh, you know it's worse
Got
than
all the other
Fago.
materials, but
Wow,
not the
Fago.
cream soda. Because I kept dropping them on the floor.
Yeah, that happens. So do you have any destinations that you're going to be hanging around or meandering towards, or what's the plan, street team? Where do I need to look for your bodies?
We're in front of the joint right now. So we're going to make our way down one side of High Street, and then we're going to make our way back north. We'll probably go down to, like, I don't know, Buttles or Goodale, like that area, and then make our way back up. So pretty much like all of the Short North area.
Nice,
Get our caddies out.
nice.
Look at these caddies.
Look at them. Would you look
Yeah.
at that?
That's a rare appearance.
Just
Just
look at
never
it.
want
What,
to get on.
Jess in shorts.
I wear shorts a lot, but not usually on camera. Not at all.
Would you look at that?
Really good, Ron. I need to look up like that.
Oh, that's right. Materials were needed. That's why we're paused for a moment.
Ah.
Yeah, it feels so good. Like the last 2 summers, it was ghost town out here. Anytime we'd come to do anything, it was questionable if whatever you wanted to do was even going to be open. And it feels so good to have like the hustle and bustle of people again.
You know, I was saying almost the exact opposite while I waited for fucking 30 minutes for a goddamn table on
Come on.
Tuesday night.
Amelia, let's go.
I was like,
Well,
what
there's
Come
pros
on.
and
the
cons.
fuck are these people? Go home.
No,
go
we're not.
home.
Get in the house. Move it.
I don't want to deal with with you. I just want food. Lots
You know, I was up there in June of 2020, and for the most part, it seemed like as long as you had your face covered, everything was open. And
Right.
yeah, people were desperate to just be out of the house. They didn't even care how long the wait was. I mean, I care now because, you know, down in Florida, I don't think we've had masks since like 3 months into COVID. But
It was
like Florida was
fuck it.
like, you know what? Yeah, fuck this. We're
We
done.
have gators. I ain't scared of COVID.
Yeah.
I ain't even scared of COVID. You ever seen a gator up close? Fuck COVID.
Hey, that running zigzag thing, that's no joke. They teach the kids that in school.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Sorry. If there's a
Mhm.
gator attacking me, I'm just telling you right now, I'm shooting it. I'm not running from shit. I will shoot it in its face like 14 times. I will reload.
I've never
twice.
had my dinner run to me.
Gator is good.
Oh, it's so good. It is so
Yeah,
good.
it's like sweet chicken.
It is.
It's the hardest texture to describe ever. But it's
We call it
it's-
swamp chicken.
Looky there.
I've
I'm not
only
even
had it
friends.
once. I'll do it again.
There used to be a local restaurant that served rattlesnake bites and like portobello stuffed alligator mushroom things, and like they had all kinds of crazy shit.
Wow.
And I chowed alligator there a bunch.
Rattlesnake is.
It was delicious. That's what it was.
I thought it reminds me of turkey jerky.
Fair.
One of my favorite antique stores here in the area.
Do they sell turkey jerky and or rattlesnake? Oh, I've been in that place. They had fucking sweet hats. Is that where we got your Cheerio cabinets from?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
I
the
almost
one.
bought a super expensive hat just because I looked really cool in it. But then I looked at the price tag and I was like, I am not that cool, and put it right back. It was like a fitted beaver skin hat. It was rad as fuck. But I'm poor. Did you just get tat salted? See, now I feel bad
Yeah.
because I abandoned you guys and let you all go out on the streets by yourself.
No, it's okay. It's good, Ben. You're holding down the fort.
This fort
You're
holds
keeping
itself
the-
down.
Well, it does. It does hold itself down.
I feel bad.
Out of curiosity, what is the sound quality like with this device? It's
I mean-
super loud right now.
I can tell
Doesn't
you're
sound great.
outside, but it's not wretched by any means.
No
You can
wind.
still hear me?
It cuts in and out a little bit, but you're outside with a Bluetooth microphone. Like it's fine.
That was really loud. That one was absurdly loud. But yeah,
Street team. I'm just cool to see it all come together. Did you guys get permission, or are they just going to come around and throw all those in the trash?
no, they got permission. I'm staying outside with the camera while Corey and Jess are going in and talking, laying down the swag.
How many flyers do you guys have out? Or to hand out?
I doubt they
How many
counted.
flyers are in that bag, Jess? What do you got there?
A bag's
There's a
worth.
few. Yeah, at least 400.
Nice.
Did you guys intentionally coordinate black and white itty bitty baby backpacks?
No, they do both have itty bitty black and white baby backpacks on. I got the full size backpack. It's got electronics in it.
Well, yeah.
It would have been bad if I had my little backpack too. It would have looked like we tried hard to coordinate.
I mean, I'm just saying it's a thing that might happen. I've met you guys. Coordinating bags would not even be weird, I guess. I don't know how to say that.
Did you see those girls?
Did you see those girls? Did you entertain those girls with Hell City flyers? Or are they talking about you?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm gonna laugh when we catch on film one of you guys getting hit by a car.
That ain't funny.
If I would have had my camera pointing the other way, you would have seen an epic skateboard spill, but
See, or
Sorry.
something where we don't get hurt.
it wasn't meant to be shared.
Maybe somebody else's misfortune, I guess, would be better. So one of my favorite Instagram pages is kids getting hurt. It's amazing. It's all like bops on the nose. None of it is, there's never blood. There's nothing broken. There's no, like, it's all like the kid fell down the steps and fell on his butt. Like, it's not, a lot of it's funny.
What about girls getting hurt?
No, I'm not a psychopath, Todd. I'm just saying
Oh,
it's like
please.
little cutesy kids like getting hurt.
Oh no,
Hush.
it's the
Hush.
girls.
Do
man.
not
Or
paint this
drunk
picture of
people
me,
getting
Todd.
hurt. Or drunk people getting hurt.
Now, drunk
That
people
was a
getting
good
hurt,
one,
I
too.
will watch every
Oh
video
my
every
God.
time.
There is one out there for that on Instagram. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
I'd
The
let that
shit
happen
drunk people do.
because you brought that on yourself. You knew
Oh yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
knew like 4 shots in that maybe the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th weren't the best ideas.
Well, the 6th one for me wasn't good when I was in Golden State.
And when you were there, did you realize that this is probably a mistake? So it's your fault when dumb shit happens, right?
No, not till after. I mean, I blacked out for 4 hours, so I have a 4-hour gap that I don't remember.
Ooh.
Todd's like, listen to my irresponsible decisions.
Well, it was the joint after the 6th shot that just sent it
Always
over the
is.
edge.
Always
Ain't it?
is.
It
I'll do it.
always is, man.
I had
Oh
worked,
boy.
I had worked with this guy for years and years, and he was the general manager of the restaurant that I worked at, and we'd been out drinking way more than we should have been, and we both got dropped off at my place. Neither of us had cars, neither of us had keys, neither of us had phones. Like it's late. He's like, I don't even understand this smoking weed thing, Ben. You should smoke a joint with me. I'm like, it's gonna be great. So he's hitting this thing like it's the last cigarette on the planet Earth, and he needs the nicotine in his toes, you know. And I'm like, whoa.
Ooh.
And this was a long time ago, but like he's like, oh, this ain't shit. Yeah, this ain't shit. I don't even see I don't even get the point, man. So 6 hours of him puking on my toilet later, and his wife showed up at my house. I'd never met this woman, and she's banging on my door like, hey, what's going on? Good times.
Do you have my husband?
Yes, I do. Matter of fact, hold on.
Seem to have misplaced him.
You can have him. Apparently, he managed to send some sort of message to her through the night, letting her know where he was. And yeah, good times. Good times. Says it's always the joint afterwards. That's the night ender. Always. If I don't
Always.
smoke while I'm drinking, though, like I gotta blend the two. If I just drink, I'm wrecked. If I can drink and smoke, life's a decent balance.
Well, I can't do both anymore. That's why I quit drinking, because I just can't do both anymore.
I can't just drink. If I just
No.
drink, shit gets wonky. My brain's like, should I drink more? Do I want more? Yeah, I don't have anything to do tomorrow. That's fine. If I smoke, I'm
I
reasonable.
just can't do it no more.
If I smoke, I'm like, 2's enough. We're good. Can you shut your eyes and touch your nose? No.
But what's sad was I blacked out in an area that I didn't even know. I mean, that's the first time I did fucking Pasadena, and I'm blacked out. I mean, and then when I finally get to, I'm going, where the fuck am I at? And then I go, well, I can look at my phone.
Yes, GPS is a thing now. Thank you, baby. Jesus.
That is, if you have your phone on you.
Yeah.
I lost my phone in somewhere in that time frame.
Do you remember in the 90s when you had to go to a gas station and ask where you were?
Yeah.
Does an Atlas's.
Atlas.
I remember making cross country road trips with my dad and
Drawing
reading
it out?
Atlas. Yeah.
I was just having a conversation with how I think
Clay used to do
like that.
maps for you.
The elder millennials, like which we are, I think, all a part of, we actually know how to read maps. We actually know how to like pull out an atlas and find directions. I think there are so many people that don't even know their way from one side of the town they live in to the other because they've grown up using the navigator every time they got in the car.
Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna say any names, but someone that I was recently married to couldn't find our house without the GPS on.
Oh,
We lived there for like 7 fucking years. You should know where that is in your sleep.
I don't even know the name of the road you live on. I always, if I need to get to your house, I'm like, Google Maps directions to Fontaine, and they're like, and I'm like, okay, I can get to Ben's house from there.
My actual road, like I live on like a loop in a neighborhood, changes names 3 times. So if you look at it on one end of the street, it is one name. About midway through the street, like midway through the curve, it changes. All the way to the next curve, it changes again. So it's intentionally confusing, and that's why I picked to live there. 'Cause fuck all of you. So
try to get the salesman to come out.
right, drop a
Good
pin.
luck finding it, buddy.
Yeah, drop a pin. It's the only way you're getting back. It's the only way you're getting back.
I don't like to live on a real road to try and find my house.
Yeah, Fun lives like road adjacent. Like you got to cut
Like-
through an alley and then cut into the alley to find Fonz. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I like it. It's like built-in security, out of sight, out of mind.
I mean, I live in the
But-
suburbs, and it's still a pain in the dick.
I think the good thing about having a weird address that makes it hard to find my house, like it's really easy to get there once you've been there, but like I don't waste as much money on Uber Eats at home. I only Uber Eats when I'm at the shop. I actually like go and get things when I'm at home.
You know what the best part about being hood adjacent is? They look just like, oh, you live where? Isn't that right next to? Nah, we don't even drive through there. Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
So I got tattoos in this building. I've gotten one of my rib pieces and my ear tattooed in here.
Well,
We were
would you
talking about-
please be more specific as to where there is?
High Street Tattoo. I don't know if you
Nice.
can see. Maybe I'm just too far away.
Yes, ma'am. That's why
far
I
away.
asked.
But before we went live, we were talking about AJ McMillan, and he was working there when Giovanni owned it, and he
Mhm.
started the only incomplete tattoo I have, and I need to get with him and get it finished. I think after I finish with my teeth this summer, I am going to get that tattoo finished.
We also all just touched on incomplete tattoos. You just fell right into what we was talking about. Fantastic. It's like you could sense the vibesies.
Yeah, universe always helps us out that way. We're connected.
We good like that.
Uh,
I think I'm gonna get one of my unfinished tattoos finished on the show.
I like that idea.
well,
Are we talking about tattoos that I've started or other unfinished tattoos?
Oh, that's an ongoing project, not a needs finished. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. And we can finish that one on air if you want, but that's gonna be a couple of years.
Now we're at Soul Classics, one of my favorite shoe stores. If you like weird sneakers, this is the one.
You know, I'm gonna admit something. As a human being, I need help with footwear. Can I just throw that out there? Like, I wear flip flops or hiking boots, and everything in between just feels. I don't like it. It's weird. It's unnatural. I feel out of place. And if I'm not in hiking boot or flip flop attire, I often look very awkward. And
I was just saying, this is one of my favorite shoe stores, Corey.
I know. I went to Van Brooke. It's a
Okay.
bad idea.
I guess what I'm saying is, Fawn, you need to go shoe shopping with me because I'm
Let's go shoe shopping. There's a sweet honey hole next time we go to Marion together. I'll take you to. They will have shoes right up your alley. It's actually where I discovered the New Balance Minimus when they were brand new. The super like low to the ground barefoot shoes.
See, I tried to go the barefoot route. I blew out my calf and it ruined my roofing. So I don't know. I think I need a little more in my life.
Well, They've got others. They have more than New Balance.
That's not
They
the
also
only fucking shoe, Ben.
They also have like the best selection of, or not New Balance, but like Timberland, like trail boots.
See, I got boots covered. I need like
Okay,
tweeners.
I'll help you get sneakers. You help me get boots.
Fair bet.
Boom.
Fair bet. I got boots down. What size are you? I'll just bring you a pair.
And men?
No, and fucking women's.
Oh, and men's I'm like a solid 8 or 9, and women's I never know. There's too many variables. Like, are they zero women's shoe?
Boot shopping it is. I'm on. Let's do it.
I
Help me,
know
I'll
that
help you.
struggle.
It's the same for guys' shoes. I mean,
Yeah.
in Merrell, I wear a 10.5, and Solomon's I wear an 11, and Nikes I wear a 10. Last time I checked.
I know in a Converse, I'm a solid 8. Perfect.
In a Converse, I'm in
8.5.
pain. Oh, I mean,
Wow, Converse make extra wide shoes. That's why I like them.
can we talk about pant sizes for a second? Can we talk about the arrangement of pant sizes that are in my house? I got everything from 42s to 36s. That's a broad stroke, and none of them fucking fit. Let's go there. None of them.
Man, the
All
women's
proportional.
fashion standard is bullshit.
Concur.
I know my measurements, which is probably the only way that I can ever find my sizes. If you don't know your measurements, at least for I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but for me, when I'm shopping, if I don't know my measurements, I couldn't buy anything, because what is a large in one store is a 2X in another, is a medium in another. I don't think I've seen small since before I had my daughter, but like at minimum, I'm usually a large.
Yeah,
But when I compare that with everything else, I'm like, okay, there's no way that I'm like that big.
I can buy
My
this.
measurements considered like plus size, and I'm not by any means close to a plus size.
I'm obese. I get it. Like I'm a big guy, but I'm not obese. Like none of my fat touches other fat. Like, calm down. Calm down. Ain't nothing
Rolls upon
drooping.
rolls upon rolls, huh?
Even if I am, fuck off. I'm healthy. Bet you I'll beat you in a foot race, motherfucker.
You don't have to be fast. You just have to be faster than the guy next to you.
Or just kick him in the knee before you start. That's the old what are you gonna do if you're hiking and there's a bear? Fucking hope the guy next to me is slow it. Especially after a knee kick. What? You guys, did you even look both ways? This is why I don't let you guys go by yourself. You just drifted right on into the street like there was no fucking concern whatsoever. Come on. My trust level is dwindling.
Jess took the lead. I have trust and faith in Jess. So if she wanders out into the road, I'll follow her blindly.
Okay.
Yes, there's the taco. Slice of blood. How that work?
So since we can only hear Fawn and everybody else is, I'm just gonna assume that was fucking hilarious. There you go.
Tacos.
Will you bring me back some tacos? I am willing to pay your Uber fee or whatever the fuck.
I mean, yeah, I could grab you some tacos from somewhere. I could grab you a gyro.
Street, whatever is convenient. You know, I will eat anything. But like 6 o'clock showtime means I'm skipping meals. Daddy don't skip meals.
Well, I will bring you back a meal then.
Thanks, Fawn. You're like my favorite human being. I don't know if I've ever expressed that to you, but like,
Well, then I love you too.
you complete me.
We complete one another.
Aww. I'm happy now. The show can end. Bye, everybody.
Not yet.
I
still have questions.
She's like, wait, nah, I got flyers. Right? Signing off on nothing.
Who's ready for next week?
Shit, ready? I don't know if ready's the right word, Bubby.
So you guys
I'm
can't see
currently
it right now. Ben is completely tucked in a fortress of
preset.
yeah. He's got like a little cubby hole with black behind him.
I thought about getting up and
I
moving the
can't
camera
wait.
and realized I would probably break something and just sat right back down. But yeah, literally higher than the camera set behind me is the stacks and stacks of things getting ready to be loaded. They've already been in here getting preset done. They've got all the things labeled and set aside and organized, and the people that do the pre-game and pre-show here are amazing. The amount of work that goes into setup before setup even is set up is nuts.
As of insane. Yeah, I've seen it.
Brian and Nick and Jules and Derb are just on it. They're meticulous, and that's what makes it easy to come day of show. Is very clear cut instructions of what needs to happen, and it makes it nice to be able to walk in and be organized. And sorry, that's my favorite time of year.
Together, kind of like almost like a symphony. Like it's almost like Derb's the conductor, and everybody has their own little role to play, and everything's kind of already in its place and staged and ready to go when the time comes.
1, 2, 3, go.
Yep.
It
sounds weird to say, but like we're all seasoned. Like there are a lot of new members on the team this year, but like as a team, we're pretty seasoned, and we've all been through this so many times that like, you know, the standard gets, like as much as we know what to expect, we know what to plan for, the standard gets that much higher every time.
Well, and it makes it easier to hold a standard when everybody's on the same page. And with the meticulous planning and the meticulous details and the clear-cut instructions make it to where that standard can actually be upheld. Without proper communication and understanding what actually is happening, nothing ever goes off without a hitch. And it's always mind-blowing and appreciative to be able to step in 2 days before show. Okay, what's going on? And there be boop, 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 boop. This is how we're running. It's nice to be part of a well-oiled machine. I've done thousands and thousands of events, from weddings to everything in between. Name it, I've thrown it. And to be part of a team that is this solid and this focused and this driven and have one goal, I'll step up anytime to be a part of that. And I'm just a little itty bitty baby peon on the team. It's cool just to watch happen. Like,
It's amazing how well they set that up and so efficiently. I mean, I've seen it over the years, and it's like boom, boom, boom.
Setups,
You know,
nuts.
On to Hell City longer than any of us in this conversation. So
Absolutely.
You've got the best perspective of how like little improvements each show make the overall everything so much smoother.
Has you know, Derb's just on top of things. You know, I mean, if anyone's seen Derb when he's working the show, realizes you don't have time to talk to him.
Focused.
He has
Because
got
he's just
blinders
focused.
on, focused
And
as
he's just-
fuck.
Yep.
I've commonly heard that called your zone of genius. And to see anybody in that moment of where they are on fucking fire, and we all know what we're talking about. The guitarist whipping his hair at the perfect moment in the solo that he's shredding, fucking that in the pocket, in the groove, nothing else could be focused on more than that. Amazes me every time. And to see somebody in their prime and watching this massive fucking thing happen, and they're just like, that's what we do. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's literally amazing to me.
I'm just impressed that they can control everything. It runs smoothly. There's rarely any hiccups to the show that you won't see it. That's for sure. And it's just what run so well. I mean, you know, it's a great show.
The best part of a plan is a flexible plan, and the beauty of a crew that's on the cuff like that gets that things can go wrong, always having a contingency. If this doesn't happen, this performer doesn't show up, our set doesn't go right, this is the shift we make, this is the move we make, this is what we do in the meantime. 1, 2, 3, go. Keeps it seamless. It's nice.
I've never had the privilege of experiencing something like that. My first convention was that one in Tampa, and it was.
Oh, girl,
What I
was
will
your
say
first
is
Which
that
one
that
in
was my
Tampa?
first.
Everybody's mad.
Not
Do you hear
the-
the outroar?
I don't think I have to even. I don't think I even have to mention what it was. I don't.
Oh, we did it. We did an episode and a half on how shitty it
Ink
was.
by the
Don't worry.
Bay.
Oh yeah, it
Oh,
was
poor
like.
you.
Oh yeah, poor me. Yeah, absolutely.
I heard. That's not
I
a.
wish
That's
you
not a
weren't so far
convention.
away. Yeah, that doesn't
That's
even
not a
count.
true convention. That's just
Doesn't
a
even
shit
count.
show.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I will not allow this to even be something that shapes my idea of what a convention is,
Oh, it
because
was
this
even the
is
top.
so far from the mark.
They were bringing it up at Empire. How bad it was down there. I mean, it's
not
been
like
what,
nobody
2
heard.
months now, and over a month now, and they're still talking about it.
I've seen it on a lot of platforms, and again, it's not like I'm super deep in the community or super involved with a lot of other people's circles, but like to hear it from other angles, even for me, was like, oh,
Yeah.
everybody noticed that was shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the whorehouse and the U-Haul, that's the kicker, though. I mean, you can't top
that made the
that. I mean-
fucking news, man. That made
I
like
mean,
the
how are you
news
gonna
news.
top that? How are you gonna top that? I mean, seriously.
I think the
mean-
judges are the ones that held that show together, because without, Steve Tarr and Megan and Derb, and
Yeah.
I think Amelia was up there too, and Fawn, you did a lot there too, and it was just.
Because
I think without that, there never would have been anything. There never would have been contests. There never would have been anything done. I mean, we showed up and we waited, I want to say like 8 hours to get our booth, and people were just taking spots. Like nothing was set up. It was wild. So like 8 hours of time to tattoo and set up, gone. And like, there was the artist was trying to enter something in for tattoo of the day and have it done by the weekend. And it was just chaos. And it wasn't any better the second day. You would think that after everything's set up, it'd be fine, but then they couldn't, the health department couldn't get their stuff together. And probably not their fault. They were probably doing everything that they could to try and accommodate everything. And it was just, it was wild.
I couldn't imagine being on the backside of that.
I don't know, but I know the
couldn't
liquor
either.
tents did really well.
Well, it was funny because when I went to Empire, I was there as they were setting it up, and first thing Fawn says, "Ooh, they got pipe and drape."
Look, you guys know I'm a pretty optimistic person, and when I'm like ready to go and I'm ready to go live and I'm touching base with you guys, we get there and I walk through the door and I'm like, I can't put a positive spin on this.
I can't even broadcast.
I'm the person who's like, I don't know, we've got 16 hours before the show opens. Miracles can happen in 16 hours when all the troops show up, but it wasn't the vibe that we had. It was like, oh no.
Not what happened.
Worse than we were prepared for. But like, Kayla had a really good point. Like if it wasn't for a few select attendees, it probably wouldn't have gone off at all. Like
I don't know that it would have even happened.
It was so unorganized that like audibles were being called about very important things that were going on by
The
people
vets
that
are just like, hold on. If we're doing this, we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think that was part of it too. Like a lot of these veteran, the artists that were there, they stepped in. They're like, no, I'm going to get my shit together. I'm going to set up my booth and I'm going to start. And people are just going to follow my lead. I'm not going to wait for somebody to tell me where to go. I'm going to pull my tables together. I'm going to put my shit down and I'm ready to work. Because if I wait for somebody to help me, or, who knows, I might not get set up till tomorrow.
It speaks volumes of the actual convention community and the people that are notorious for being at these shows and rely heavily on them for their travel and things along those lines, that even when they showed up to a disaster, everybody there kind of just looked at each other and went, we can set up tables and tattoo and do our thing, or we can pack up and go home. And what happened was
unity, is that camaraderie. Like we're here, let's make the best of it. Let's do it. we've come this far.
Did you guys hear about the artists that flew in from Hawaii and spent $5,000 getting there and lost out on it?
Yeah.
Couldn't tattoo that weekend at all because they were not given their correct information to get the correct license to tattoo in Florida.
Well, I know there were problems with like people that he promised hotel rooms and stuff too, where his room bookings were just no longer available.
Mhm.
When I'm sitting with Derb and like, you know, he and I are both like go-getters. Like we're not ones like something that Derb and I have in common is like, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Like,
Right.
if I've made the commitment, I'm going to do it. So when two people of that mindset are sitting there on a Thursday night going like, what do we do? Like, we have clients that flew down, you know, we've got our travel expenses. What do we do? And it was one of those like, you know what? We've got rad clients. Let's just make the best of it because we're going to be able to add cool work to the pieces that we're doing. Whatever happens, we're going to be fine. Our clients are going to be fine. Let's roll with it. But like, that's not the attitude that we should have going into a show. It shouldn't be like, well, we said we would, so I guess we gotta. We should
We're
be like,
obligated.
Yep.
but
No, shows should be effortless. You should be able to go into your booth, set up, be ready for your client, do what you need to do, and that's how it should run. And you know, it shouldn't be the artist sweating where to put their booth. I mean, all that should be clear cut planned in that. And you know, that's a shame that you had to go through that. And it's not good for the attendee either.
Right.
No.
The chaos
No.
of it.
You think people that paid money to go into that show didn't notice?
Oh,
The
absolutely
clusterfuck?
they did.
You
Oh,
know,
sure they did.
Yeah,
How
it
could you not?
was what's the word I am looking for?
Giant monkey fuck.
There's only up from there. I can say that.
Next year has to be better. No, I don't think anybody will go next year.
What was terrifying is that people were saying that that was better than what had happened the year prior, and I'm like,
Wait, you came back?
yeah, I'm.
No, I heard that too. That was the other thing that I go, really? It was worse the year
Oh.
before? And they go, oh yeah. And I go, I don't know how it could be worse.
Y'all are fucking troopers. I don't go back to the same Wendy's twice if they fuck up my sandwich. Like,
You didn't give me pickles, deuces.
oh, one shot.
I just don't know. It's like, you know, that I've been to a couple offshoot shows over the years and they were sort of iffy, but all the other ones have been professionally run. I mean,
I'm going to say
Like-
I'm pretty spoiled with my convention experiences.
I am too.
I've
I
only
mean,
been
I've
to
been some
pretty
great ones.
well-ran shows, but
Very nice.
I'm nobody. I'm not an artist. I couldn't imagine paying whatever amount of money to travel plus booth plus this plus that to get there and just lose your livelihood.
well, that's one of the things we were talking about with the Tampa show is like we were all in pretty fortunate positions. Like even our buddy Chris Taylor, he had like $5,000 in going down between he and his daughter's expenses and the people that they were supposed to be working on. And you know, we had the money in our flight, and, you know, all the things and the time off work. But like we're pretty fortunate in our position. But think about like the younger tattooer that just rolled into town on his last $100 in his gas tank. Like,
Yep.
think about
Yeah,
that tattooer rolls to town expecting to make money. He gets there and his table's not available after he rolled the dice to get there. And now he's got to figure something out to get home because he doesn't even have the option to do the work that he's committed to. Like, that's pretty heartbreaking for somebody. You know what I mean? That's what makes it a big deal. Like, we keep joking about it because it was unprofessional and this, that, and the other, but like, it really impacts the community. These things are important to us.
Well, like Derb said, there needs to be a list made up of promoters and them rated and that going forward from now on. I mean,
Like a blacklist.
absolutely. I mean, like Yalzi put on the Puerto Rico show, and it's coming back this year. He ran a very smooth, great convention, and he's part of the industry, being a collector in that, but he's been around it for so long that he knew exactly what to do. That's the good thing. He's
Right.
seen what works, what didn't, and he incorporated most of it. And plus, he had other people to lean on, like Derb and other
Right.
promoters. But a music promoter trying to do a tattoo convention,
Never ends well.
that it never ends well. I mean, do you remember when Disturb and Breaking Benjamin were touring in that a few years back, and they had a tattoo thing following them? You remember that?
Yes, I actually do.
Yeah. James Vaughn did one of those
It's just
in that, which I thought was funny. But yeah, it was that was a shit show in itself.
I just don't understand the I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like a grab to make a bunch of money, and then you don't even put an effort to do that. Like
it's 90 degrees out, and they're trying to hope that the stencil stays on while
right.
their client sweats like a pig. Yeah, that's brilliant thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, so Todd, would you be interested in starting the official tattoo convention rating system and marks of quality to be checked to have a bar of excellence to reach? And we can go around to conventions and be like, okay, so we're at blankety blank and blank hole nowhere, and this place is a shit show. They get a 1 star. Or we're at this amazing, super awesome mega tattoo convention that is well set up and perfect. They get a 32-star review, or however we want to break that system.
Actually, I could talk. I could actually talk to Megan and Steve about that and make it part of Tattoo Awards. I mean, that would be one of the easiest. Yeah, I know. I've seen your shirt.
It's so comfy.
I'm just saying I'm willing to participate. I really like judging people just on like a personal level. I enjoy it.
Do you excel in that field?
I am kind of a prick.
You're a connoisseur.
I've been to a lot of events. I can see when shit's fucked. I'm very good at ruining movies. So I think that if I applied that skill to a convention, I could just be the old guy in the corner that's like all crotchety the whole time, and this could work. One of you guys be all positive. I'll just be myself, and it'll be like amazing.
I want to be like the commentators on Dodgeball, though.
Yes,
I'm gonna have to relive that experience to execute it properly.
It's on Hulu.
I mean, I remember flashes of Dodgeball, but it's not a permanent memory anymore. I've washed that out.
Favorite Jason Bateman role.
Well, I think
I just smoke a lot.
I personally think that artists and attendees should grade shows. Artists see different perspective of how a show runs versus an attendee. They have their own issues to deal with.
Should we start a tattoo convention sliding scale and or jaunt form to have people participate in at an open forum style? Here's a kiosk. You ever been to the airport and they got that little button system where they're like, how was the bathroom? And you're like, there was poop on the wall. I'm putting a frowny face. We could do something very similar that would log an experience level, and we could randomly place this machine at conventions and just get honest walk by opinions.
I like that.
I think that's a great idea.
That means we don't have to work it too.
I do think that's
true.
I think that's the kind of thing that's perfect for our platform, because we're just an opinion. I mean, we're opinion and information, but it's all from the collector's point of view. In the tattoo community, that's the person that's forgotten so much. We talk about like rock star artists and you know, all these impossible things that are being done, but it takes people like literally saving for months for their appointments and then laying down on the slab and like going through the pain to achieve it. And then also when we're talking about conventions, the clients that have to travel to the show to get to the work, like,
Yep.
you know, the client is a huge part of the equation, and that client is left out of like the consideration a lot.
So people that are smarter than me that build things make us a voting machine on a 5-level scale that we can kiosk style set up, and I will cut you in on the zero profit that we're going to get from this.
I think we can do it.
Somebody just like, yeah, I was gonna say you could have somebody like develop some sort of like app
That was my
and
whole
then just
point.
have iPads.
I just started with people smarter than me. I just left it at that. See, you're already doing what I asked. Look at you. You know, here's an idea. Just run it.
Inception.
That's what I wanted. See, I wanted somebody else to do the legwork. Idea, legwork. That's what. That's the kind of liberal I like to live in.
It's like there's two worlds to a convention. Like I got to hang out with Seth and Richie Bulldog and Hustle Butter and that whole row that they had of artists in that. And all those artists are sponsored. And a lot of those people get a lot of things taken care of them that up and coming artists don't. Rooms, you know.
So we should start a separate voting box for the artist area. So also the people that are attending as a guest to the show can have a chance to voice their opinion on quality of treatment as well.
Too, I believe. I mean, you know, because this show had a lot of new faces at it. I mean, they had, you know, a few big names in that, but really, there were a lot of new artists at this show versus that I've seen in the past. And you know, and I think that how long has it been going on?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. At least 8.
okay. So it's seasoned. Then.
Mhm.
Well, traveling,
But-
I'm sure, like anything at nauseum gets old. So I'm sure some of these guys take breaks from circuits, don't attend as many shows, you know.
Well, New York's a different breed too in itself is that it's expensive.
Yeah.
To stay in New York is not cheap. That's
Buddy,
a fact.
I went just to go to the show and be tattooed. Most expensive tattoo I ever got. Let me throw that out there. The room was more than I spent on gas the entire trip. We were like, we're staying one night. We got 24 hours of parking. Do what you want to do. We in New York. Tatty's app bounced.
and that's $70 now a day.
The parking?
To park in New York.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think included with the hotel, even fuck, it's been 7-8 years since I went.
That was at the Hilton.
Fuck. Yeah, I think it was 50 then.
Yeah, and now it's more. I mean,
That's insane to
everything
me.
was more expensive in the city this trip than it ever has been. I was just amazed at how much things have changed.
I was like, wait. There's a hot dog cart outside? Right outside? I give them $6. They give me 2 hot dogs and a drink.
Oh, that's hepatitis on wheels. That's hepatitis on wheels, man.
Give me
I've
the
never
Hep C,
done one of those.
baby. Bring it to me. Of all the sketchy shit I've done in my life, a hot dog cart is not taking this motherfucker out. Let me tell you.
I've
The
had
things
enough-
that I have ingested as a food entrepreneur my entire life, let me tell
I
you.
had food poisoning too much to risk that anymore, man. Mm-mm.
I don't even care. We'll just squirt it out and fucking eat a bagel for breakfast. It'll all work out. It'll all work out.
Oh, no thanks.
I love street meat.
I got food poisoning at Epcot one year, and the next day I had to ride roller coasters with my son.
No thanks.
Ooh.
I'm just a huge fan
Yeah.
of street meat though. Like any vendor that is like quickly flash cooking me a product for immediate consumption, I just
Instant gratification.
yeah, like you're my fucking hero. I'm just throwing it out there. Kind of miss my
Mexican.
calling.
Be
What's that
Mexican and be Mexico. Street meat, all that shit, man. I mean, that's like the staple down there.
Take me,
Car.
Todd. take me. I'm a fan. Like, let's go. You just
Oh,
listed things
fuck.
I love. I'll get a passport to eat street meat with you, but you have to take me. I'm not going by myself.
You think I know Spanish?
No, I just said I'm not going by
Yeah, exactly.
myself. I left no implication other than I don't want to go by
Oh,
myself.
dude, I mean, that's what it is. I've heard people, oh, you take me to Mexico. And I go, why? Because I can't translate.
No, I just don't want to be by myself. And if we're eating street meat, we're fucking doing it together, Todd.
Oh,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Gosh. You know what I have
She
on
is
my
made
phone?
right there.
It's called Google Translate. I can talk to anybody. Where are you from? Push your button. Got you. Something stupid in my language. It's only failed me once.
So who's entering what at Hell City? You entering anything fun?
You know, I'm really torn, Todd. I don't know if I want to enter, like, I haven't entered my armpit. Well, I entered them at Tampa, but like outside of that, I haven't entered my armpits in anything. My back wasn't completed at the last Hell City, so I really haven't entered my back in anything since it's been done. I think we finished it just before the Motor City show, so I've won an award there for it. But like, I don't know if I'm up on stage and I'm talking to people about their tattoos, and I'm like, if I'm in that role, should I even compete at all? What's your thought?
You're a judge?
I mean, there's a chance Gerbil asked me to judge, and you know, I enjoy judging.
I did see that. I thought I seen your name on the list.
You've already been volunteered.
As long as you're
yeah,
not,
yeah.
here's my thought, because I judged at Golden State, but I didn't judge every day. And the one day that I didn't judge was for cover up. So I entered. I didn't
What
feel
about
that
if we
was
work it like this, Todd? What about if you helped me cover the events that I compete in, and then I'll for sure cover the events that you compete in? Like, if you could help with that, then I could do both. I just need basically somebody to be the camera person and like talk to people while I'm
I
on
wouldn't mind
stage.
doing that. I wouldn't
What we
mind doing
should
that.
figure out how to do is set a monopod next to the camera I'm already running for the tattoo events.
We can do that
Because
too.
I'm already running a camera that's filming what's going on.
We
Or
could do that.
Or loop our stream into our
Oh, I got to show
TCP.
you guys where we are.
Oh, show me.
One of the more prolific Columbus tattooers. I have always loved this little space too. I remember when this used to be like a
Yeah.
Oh,
little
that's
camera
great.
Love
shop.
that.
I love that entrance.
But
That's cool.
Did you lick and stick a flyer on his door?
yeah, Corey
Okay.
and Justin. I was talking to you guys and not paying attention.
Okay.
Well, for me, I'm gonna. Do they have a category?
What's that?
Todd, you're a robot the entire time. Start over.
Do they have a cover up?
Still a robot. One more time.
You
Do
know,
they
I
have
don't,
best cover up?
At Hell City?
Yeah.
I'm honestly not sure. I'm honestly not sure.
I don't
They all
know
happen
either.
so fast and back to
If they
back.
do, I'm gonna enter that. I'm gonna enter my neck for sure, and then
Nice.
overall.
Nice. I'm gonna enter my hand into the camera.
I feel like whether we should all enter overall is what we should do, first of all. And then second of all, we should all all of us, and then all of our regular guests, we're all gonna be together. So we should get like some backs out, cheekies out tattoo pictures on stage.
Okay, big fan
Yeah,
of all
we've
that.
been doing
but
that
I'm
past
not- I'm
couple
not-
years.
I don't compete at Hell City. I don't. I'm not. I mean, I'll take pictures. I'll get my butt out with you, but
The
like,
photo op gotta happen.
I'm a
Yeah,
fan
Yeah,
of
for
that.
sure.
But like, I work. I gotta work. I'm at work. I'm sorry.
And that's my snag too. Is like I got all these ideas I got to get off the ground this year, and I mean it's all going to be like more quality content for the show and more material for in the future. But I still want to compete. I still want to be
Well,
a
you
part of it.
should, because again, well, it's part of being a collector.
I agree
You're
with that
covering yourself
100%.
as being a collector. Why not? You should enter.
That's fair.
I support both of your decisions to compete full-heartedly. I'm just attached to my camera. I'll be there. I'll see you. I'll smile. Might even wink.
Whole
I'm
thing
just
is
trying to
there's
repeat as
like a whole reinventing lounge downstairs. I'm calling it a lounge. It's not really going to be a lounge. It's going to be a whole big ballroom full of like the reinventing, like Jay will be down there, Lauren will be down there, and then all the seminars are going to be going on in that area. So we can step away from all the chaos up by the main stage, or we can also like ask some of the reinventing crew to step up and help and hold cameras and things like that. So there's just going to be more able-bodied tech nerds there than ever before.
This is gonna sound really dumb, but this is gonna be the first time at Hell City where I've known more than just like our Hell City crew. I haven't really been that deep so in the community because I'm just collector. So to be there now and be like, oh, I know this person. Oh, I know this person. Oh, actually, I know this guy. Hi, people I know. I'm pretty excited to actually see people that I'm happy to see instead of it just being like another thing I do.
well, that was great about how being at Empire. A lot of these people I hadn't seen for 3 years, some 4.
Nice.
It was great to finally see some people.
Hell City's always been my kind of in to be involved. But when you're working a job, you're not shaking hands and talking and learning and meeting people. So I mean, I've always known who these people were as far as they're a tattoo artist. But so through the podcast here, it's really granted me a pretty nice privilege of getting to know a lot of these people and speak to people that I wouldn't have access to. And I'm pretty excited to soak that in. I'm ready for hugs and high fives. Like I miss my peeps.
Yeah, it's great seeing people that I hadn't seen in a while. Carlos Torres, I hadn't seen him since Golden State, just before COVID shut down. That was the last time I seen him. There were collectors there that I hadn't seen in a while. It's just great to be a part of it again as a community.
Yeah.
I mean, I missed it.
I'm ready
Definitely
for
missed it.
people, like
Yeah.
I'm pretty recluse and I might say I hate people a lot, but that vibe of that group is something you don't get to be around very often. Being in a room where everybody is like-minded and focused and sharing the same energy and soaking it all in and part of the same mindset. It tickles on my empath, want to hug people vibes. It's really inspirational, even not being a creative person. I don't mean that in the worst way. Like I can't draw stick people, but even still to be around with that mindset and that level of people with that kind of commitment and that kind of drive and that kind of entrepreneurship and business mindset. There's so much shit you can learn by tapping into a group of people that are just doing what the fuck they love and killing it. That to me is awe-inspiring. Like, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And that's why I go. That's what it's about to me, is to see people picked it and ran.
Well, that's what I like about Hell City. They have the wet paint thing going on, and then they have the fusion, the art fusion thing that they do on stage there by the stage. I love watching that. I mean, those are a couple of things that I actually do enjoy going about Hell City. They do have that at there. They have live art. I mean, most conventions don't have that, but that's a great thing about Derb's convention. You get to go watch that. And,
the seminars and the education and like looking at some of the painting stuff, like you're saying, that goes on downstairs is mind blowing. And again, as someone that can't draw stick figures, to see people hone their craft to that level is just insane.
Yeah, I like watching it.
I'm not sure whether it was Todd or Ben that just mentioned it, but the art fusion, that's something I look forward to. We haven't even really talked about that ever on the show, but like, have you guys ever seen me when I start getting carried away with charcoal? Like everything's be black gonna just be all black. I don't know how many times I've participated in the art fusion project, and like we'll be like halfway through our allotted time and everything still looks so like incomplete. And I just turn that charcoal on its side and start blocking in like the heavy black and tuck it in and like watch everybody like hold their breath like and I'm like, no, it's gonna be fine. Just it'll be all right.
My favorite
that
thing
was
is good.
the thing about Empire is that now that Last Right's gone, they didn't do it this year, but at the end of every show, you go back to Paul's Last Rights, and all the artists downstairs would have a big white canvas, and they would just start making art.
Love
That's
it.
so
And
cool.
and anyone could walk up to it and start drawing on it and doing it like that, and that was amazing to watch because it was
Love
a
it.
big piece. It wasn't a small piece. It was a about 6 by 5 piece. You know, it was big.
We had a walk through here for one of the opening events and set up 10 or 12 canvases and allowed anybody and everybody to come by and add their touch. And by the end, there were so many layers and so many, like, some of them were amazing. And it was just like,
Yep.
it's just like leaving instruments out at your house and somebody's like, oh, there's some amazingness.
They did that one year at Hell City. I remember by the bar.
Okay.
They did that one year. I remember that. Now that you mention that, they did do something like that at Hell City one year.
Well, that was an open house here that I was talking about.
Well, they did it at Hell City too.
Nice.
It's always nice to see that stuff. I mean, you know,
Love it.
there's so many levels of talent at these conventions. You know, it's just amazing how they can collab and do different things, and you know, it's just great to see it.
It also brings to public eye, art is still first in this community. It's still a balance and an expression. It's not all Yosemite Sam. You know, like there are some of these people that do some of these fine paintings and some of this oil, and I'm blown away. Like I've been to museums. It's not all that great. And to see that level of talent in a little itty bitty baby bubble, it's fucking rare. And people don't realize how fucking rare it is. And that's it's special.
Yeah, even
All right, I
before
feel
I
like I'm
was
married.
no, but one of the things that's special about Hell City is like the nostalgia in that art and all of it all at once. So like before I was even like affiliated with Derb or any part of the team, when I would attend shows like Hell City, like everywhere I would look around, like as an artist, as a tattooer, as a collector, everywhere I would look, it would be like gold.
Right.
That's what I want to do. That's how I want to do it. And it's like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's almost like a, like I said, it's like a nostalgic feeling, but it's also like, you know, super special to be part of making it all come together now and part of, you know, the team that, you know, I remember like, let's put it like this. I remember like 8 or 10 years ago, I'd go to Hell City and I'd see Todd up there in competitions and be like, man, I want to be in competitions like that.
Right.
So now we're friends. We know each other. We're starting to know one another's backstories, and we know each other's collections, and we've competed together. And then through all of that, there's like this camaraderie that's developed, like this true friendship that I have, not only with you guys, but with other collectors that I see. You know, tattooers have the family reunion that we talk about all the time. But this is a family reunion for collectors too. And like, I don't know, it's a special thing. It's a really special thing to be a part of. And that's why, Kayla, that it's such a bummer that you haven't gotten to experience it yet.
Let us rub some salt in the wound. Yeah.
No, but
Let us talk about how amazing this event you can go through is.
it's funny you mentioned that, Fawn, because I forgot who I was talking to, but we were talking about how, you know, we've all went through this shared pain. We know what the other person has gone through to get to that point. I mean, it's a shared experience that only a few of us can actually say we've experienced.
Yep.
Well, and if you
It's an
don't live,
amazing bond.
if you don't live in a heavily tattooed community, if you aren't involved with your local shop and you work at Chase or bank or something that is super mundane, and this is your one time to be around your people and let your tattoos fly and have that moment of expression where you're unjudged and unfiltered and you can be yourself and be around your like-minded. A lot of people don't have that luxury. A lot of these people collect, and they're the only one they know that have collections, and they've got one or two buddies that have a couple. We're fortunate to be in the loop. We're very fortunate to be in the loop. Like,
It's funny you say that, because one year there was this woman who had an amazing Japanese collection, but done in like you know how the plates were done, that blue, that type of
ooh,
blue
yeah.
color. That was her whole collection. It was just like that. It was amazing.
I love
And you
it.
know, she lived up north, up in the UP, and that was the only time that anyone would actually see her work, was if she came down to the convention. And how many people are like that out there?
Right.
Because you know, I never seen that on any
Collecting
Instagram
quiet.
or anything like that. Yes, there's a lot of people out there that just do that.
I never followed collectors or models or artists, or how you don't even know where to begin that when you're not on the inside loop. Like, it's a weird. I know times have changed and I feel old, but like 10 years ago, your options were who you knew and who you could grapevine to figure out. Now with the
Not at
internet,
a
you can
convention.
Google and run to wherever. But like, it's a weird sense of community, and it's a weird tight knit that just doesn't. If you're not tapped into it, there's a gap. I don't know how else to say that.
Yep.
There's so many collectors out there, though. You
Mhm.
know, at various stages of their collection. You know, I don't know about you, Fawn, but do you get people, young ones, coming up to you and go, "Well, I love watching you. I'm inspired by what you're doing." You know, I've had that over a couple times over the years, and you know, I'm sort of, it's sort of humiliating, because it's like, I'm just getting tattooed like you, dude. I'm glad that you think I'm an inspiration, but you know, the only thing I can give you, the advice I'll give you, is just research what you want and what you like. That's the best thing I can tell you.
Yeah. Um, I've often had people say, "Well, what's the best advice?" And really, I say the same shit, man. Find somebody that's good at what you love and tap
Mhm.
the fuck in. Go to the events, go to the art shows, go to the paint nights, go to the things that they do. They're going kayaking, put your fucking kayak in your boat and go. Like, go hang out, go be part of the loop, because then they're tapped into who you are. You're involved, they know your lifestyle, they know the art you like. And then when you get tattooed, it's a personal thing. It's a, they are not, I don't want to say catering, that's the wrong word. They're adapting what they do because they know who you are. Oh, I know you love these really bright colors. I know that this is the things you like. I'm involved with you. We're friends. Like, get tapped in. Like,
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. I spent probably 4 years looking for the right person to start
amazing.
on my big pieces. And I actually stumbled across my artist at work. One of his clients came in and she had just gotten her sleeve done. And I was like, that is incredible. That is the exact kind of style that I am looking for. Where did you get it done? And she gave me his business card. I talked to him for about 4 or 5 months before I really, you know, said, okay, I think I want to move forward with this. But over the last year or so that I've known him and he's been working on my pieces and stuff, I'm confident with taking my ideas to him and knowing that he's going to be able to deliver, because we've built that rapport and we've spent time, talking and not just talking about the work, but talking about each other's lives and what we like and what we don't like. And me, him, and my husband goes to him too, and he's working on his pieces, his cover ups, and he just finished his sleeve at that convention.
Nice.
And I think that having that relationship with your artist is so important, because that translates into the art. You can tell in the art, because there's just
the same
this
as cooking.
value there that can't be bought.
When you make it with love and intention, it tastes better.
Exactly.
It's the same with the tattoo. When art is made with intention for you, there's a quality of love that you can't fake. You can't.
Exactly.
It's funny to listen to you talk about your process, because we often talk about the steps sometimes that it takes to work with artists that is on that type of level. And you've literally gone through from the beginning of the podcast and talked about the correct way to interact with the artist. And it's funny because we've literally gone through the process you've described and said, this is the appropriate way to do it. Let your artist give them all these ideas, show them their references. Like, you've literally hit every single highlight of the process we talk about on the show all the time. So it's really cool to hear on the other end of somebody's like, hey, do you want to see a fucking success story of following the process that we talk about all the time? Here it is. It took months. It took patience. It took the availability and understanding and communication.
Yes. And me and my artist talk about that every single time I sit down in the chair. He's like, I cannot stress how important it is for the people that I work with to just trust in the process, because you look at, like, it's a perfect example. If you go to his Instagram and you look at like the posts of where he's got thousands and thousands of likes on these pieces, because they're exceptional pieces. It's because of people trusting the process, trusting him to, do that. You know what? Yeah, it's great, but I think it just needs one more Passover to really bring it together. And trusting your artist to sometimes it feels like taking a leap of faith, especially when you feel like the piece that you got is already great. You're like, well, it can't get better. And if you do more, sometimes less is more, right? So I kind of get that sentiment, but trusting them in the process to bring that piece of art to life, like, that's what you're hiring them to do. Yep. You're hiring them to do a job. Get out of their way. Let them do their job.
You want to come work for TCP? We don't pay anything, but you're welcome to hang out at any time, because it's refreshing to hear the actual translation of what we try to do and what we try to talk about all the time. It's nice. Success.
When you have a relationship with the artist and you keep going with it, that's the best thing. It's like with Megan and me. I mean, I've got a lot of tattoos from Megan now, and it's like, I just got to say something and she knows what to do, and there we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I went to the same artist for 10 years. He had to retire before I started getting tattooed by other people. He legit was like, hey, bro, we're 3 out of the 4 limbs deep. I understand that, but I'm going to go train triathletes. Do you want to be a triathlete? No, sir. Okay, we'll start getting tattooed by the other guys at the shop. And it was kind of like, okay.
Oh,
I guess.
I went to
that relationship.
I went to that thing in Tampa, and I like how you guys are talking about how, like, it kind of just brings everybody together, because I definitely felt like, despite all of the chaos, the people that the like the internals of the convention, the artists, the competitors,
people that knew each other.
Yeah, well, not even just that, but it was a great opportunity for people to network, because everybody had the same feelings. So it was really easy to create that natural dialogue.
That's called trauma bonding.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's psychology lesson. Love it.
Yes.
Yeah. And and it's really, I don't know, like, I went and I was like, wow, I'm really inspired by a lot of the work that I see. And I see all of these really incredible pieces. And it's crazy because, like, a year ago, I was more willing to get a full leg sleeve than I was to get my arms done. Don't ask me why. I felt like that
started
was
with my
less of
leg.
a commitment. I felt like the leg was less of a commitment than my arm because, I can usually just throw pants on.
I
always
started with
wear
my
t-shirts.
leg.
And
My,
my background is banking. So you brought up bankers. I'm like,
it's like I
don't
could
have
sense
that
it.
one.
I could sense it.
But like I went to this convention, I saw all these pieces, and like I've had all of these ideas, and it's the problem for me is that there's finite canvas. You only have so much space that you can fill if you really want detailed big pieces. And I went to this last session to start on my right leg sleeve, and I told Tony, I was like, you know what? I think we're just gonna, down the whole thing. It's gonna take forever, but we're gonna get through it together.
And that's an amazing approach, because when you're that level of collector and you've realized that that's your goal, I wish I would have had that mindset when I started getting tattooed. Like, I like tattoos. They were cool, but I wish somebody would have been like, big picture, bud. Seems like you're hitting this pretty hard. Maybe save some space for some stuff that's not this big.
Yeah. Well, and I've kind of fixed on a theme. Like I definitely like Greek mythology. So I think it's all going to be centered in Greek mythology in some sort of way, some attribute, whether it be the gods or, symbols and tokens, stuff like that.
Love it.
But, trying to figure out, there's so much in the mythology, and I've chosen to focus on like gods and creatures of the underworld.
Nice.
All the dark, but taking it and doing a more modern twist on it. Because you look back, like Greek mythology is really freaking creepy. You really sit down and you read it.
All
But
mythology is.
you also look at the Bible and you
All
look
of
at
it
it and
is.
you're
It's
looking
got
at this
creepy shit in it,
interpretation.
too.
Yeah, and you're looking at this interpretation of texts that are thousands of years old. And
Right.
to be honest, the human race is not that much different than we were 1,000 years. We still do the same dumb shit.
Right.
So like,
oh,
there's-
Fawn's
I
getting in the
think there's-
creeper van. We just got cup hold. Hold on one sec. Fawn, are you getting ready to travel?
That's what I was trying to tell you. I'm getting ready to go grab some food real quick, and then we'll be back at the studio with you, and I will rejoin you.
All right. We will see you in just a few.
Okay. You too.
Be safe.
Ah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, you're good. You're good. Safety first.
so like just like you're saying with translations and things like that, a lot of things are open to artistic creation.
Yeah.
Go get it. Like,
Yeah.
spin it any way you want to spin it. Make it yours. It's the beauty of art. I love that freedom in it, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like
I'm
when
a
people
big
have a
fan.
collective idea. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm also a big fan that she's got a theme and she's
Yeah.
gonna follow through on it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. I'm so random in all my stuff that
Same.
I really wish that I had went with just one theme and went from that way. But
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm a little blended, but it's the same. It's like I've got nautical on one side. I've got like stuff it's all early American traditional. Then I've got a bunch of Japanese, and then I've got a bunch of fucking, like, all my stuff is different styles, but somehow yet my collection is pretty cohesive. I'm not really clear how that worked out, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
I am, Megan's been able to intertwine my pieces together and make them flow. That's the other thing, when you're deciding what you're going to do, it all needs to flow together.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying anybody needs to get all one style, but leaving that space to connect and have everything work together and trusting your artist to blend those things in.
Mhm.
I think the theme of the tattoo portion of the show should be trust your fucking artist, because
Exactly.
that's what we all keep touching back and all keep coming back to, is that's why we pay these people.
Yeah. Well, absolutely.
Lot of
And
money.
and that's the best way to get a cohesive piece, because
Right.
it's cohesive thought processes. You're going to they go through the same thought process every time they come up with an idea. Like, the ideas might be different, but and they might incorporate some new elements or maybe take the tattoo in a completely different direction, but it's still going to tie in well because they've
Right.
got all of these tattoos and they've went through the process of building the idea from the
Yep.
ground up, and they
Design
know how to
is
pull
a
it all together.
process.
It's
Right.
it's a process of architecture.
Yes. Absolutely. And I don't, as again, someone that can't draw stick figures, how the fuck should I have any relevance in a conversation about art and color theory? Do you know what I mean? Like when Fawn was
That's why
like,
I pay him. That's why I pay him what I pay him,
Right.
because I draw stick figures.
they're like, do
You
you
know?
want, what colors do you want? I'm like, I want you to pick what fucking colors you want to put in it, because I don't want to do that. That sounds like a horrifying decision. Just make the tattoo the way you want to make it.
Yeah. So that was another big thing for me, is like, I love, love, love color tattoos on everybody else. I
Yep.
don't like them on me. All of my cars, black, white, or gray. My favorite car is a blue C8, believe it or not, but I would never buy one for myself because I will have it for 3 months and get tired of looking at it in my driveway.
That's why I went
I
with
don't
Thunder
like color
Gray.
on me. So I found myself a black and white and gray scale artist.
Right.
And he does really great color. Like, he does that just as well as he does grayscales, but he likes the grayscale area of work.
Nice.
So I was like, look, I think I just want all of my tattoos in black and white, and maybe here and there spots of color,
Accents.
but nothing that is like bam, because I want it to kind of pull your attention into the piece and get you to look at everything else. I don't want that to be all you see. However,
Soft.
when I go to these conventions, the very first thing I'm always drawn to are these incredible color pieces. I'm like, I wish I could bring myself to commit to that, because I would love to have a piece that amazing.
Right. I don't want to say it's never too late, but it's never too late. Your
Well, the
ideas
thing
are
is-
allowed to change.
I know, but it's been, I've had that same feeling towards on myself, not on anybody else, because I think they're great on everybody else. On me, I've had that same feeling. I mean, that's been my vibe since high school, and that's
Right.
not just tattoos. That's everything. Everything's neutral, and it goes with everything else. Black and white goes with everything else.
Yeah, I just, as someone that has so many random styles, I don't want to say random, somebody that has so many different styles, like the bulk of my back is just black and gray, but with hard color accents, just like you're saying. So like,
Yeah.
and then arms and legs are bright as fuck. So it's, I love the availability to blend those styles. I love
Yeah.
I've got super traditional, and I love that I've got Fawn's super painter-esque layered style of landscape. Like I've got everything
Yeah.
and anything in between. And you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to morph, and you're allowed to stick motherfucking to your guns and go black and gray from the top of your heads to the bottom of your feet. That's the beauty of choice. Like this, that's
Well,
in
and
the
I
availability
like the
of quality. You do whatever you want.
I like the idea that with black and gray, I can kind of treat my tattoos like a coloring book if I want to. Later on, I do decide to change my ideas.
To a point. Well, a lot of that stuff though is
To a degree, yeah.
specifically designed to not have hard lines and edges and stuff like that. And it might limit the availability of what you are able to do because of how they're sculpted for light.
Right.
But in the same note, you right, blast over that shit later. And it's 2022 with enough inspiration, you can get anything removed and or covered and or redone and or lasered the fuck off your body. Like no thanks.
Well, it's funny she's saying she's going completely black and gray, because initially when I started doing all this, I was going to be completely but but I don't know, something just switched in my mind. I decided to get black and gray on some things, and I don't regret that decision. I'm glad I got a mix of them. I think it works well. I like people that stick with one theme too.
Yeah,
it looks really great. Amazing.
it's inspiring. That kind of fortitude is something I don't have. I can't finish a book, let alone decide that I would like my body the entire same cohesiveness. Like I can't.
Don't get it twisted. If you walk around my house, you're gonna see 5 million projects that are all started and halfway complete. None of them are finished.
You just described my life. I'm kind of good at a lot of different stuff. Not really good at any of it, but I'm kind of good at a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Because
Jack of
toe
all
dip,
trades, master of none.
yeah, toe dip, go hard in the sauce, get bored, never do it again.
Yeah. And if you're
Tis-
not
tis the life.
instantly perfect at it, it's not even worth it.
I'm okay with being mediocre and shitty at stuff. Because otherwise I wouldn't
my
do
line of
anything.
work.
It sounds like I'm good at that.
On my line of work, you got to be good at what you're doing.
I am very fortunate that in the hobbies that I have chosen to be around, I'm also in a room of people that are always way better at it than me. Again, not that I'm a total piece of shit at everything I do, but like I've been around a lot of quality individuals. I've been very fortunate that like when I want to come to paint night, I'm in a room of fucking artists. When I
That's
went to
what it
jujitsu,
should
I was in
be.
a room of people that I was like, I don't
Yes.
even want to touch you. You're gonna murder me. Because I don't know. I've been very, very, very fortunate to be introduced to a level of quality that I shouldn't have access to.
I
It's
don't
funny
agree
you
with
say
that. That's
that.
how you get better.
Well, yeah, for sure. But like, you know,
You're like, they like me?
yeah, how did I do that? I just what? You want me to come? Okay. I've been very fortunate. Very, very, very fortunate.
Yeah. You know, I've the thing is that I like all kinds of different styles. I've seen so many different styles of my buddies. There's neo-traditional, I've seen Japanese suits. I got a pretty much realistic suit. You know, and I can't say that any one style is better, but if they're cohesive, they are better.
Right.
If they're one theme, they're definitely better.
Like I love New School. Give me that big-eyed cartoony packed in. Like I love that.
Oh, my buddy Ken
Never will
Gerlach,
I get one.
man. Jeez, I love his suit, man. Ken's got a killer New School suit,
Right.
just an amazing one, and you know, I like it. I mean, I love New School.
Just like she
Love
said,
it.
it's great on other people. I
I
don't
got
see
a New
that being
School.
my
I got
style.
2 New School pieces.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like, it's one of those where you wish it was your style because you like it, but
It's like a cowboy hat. I've always wanted to rock it. Just know I can't. Fanny pack, same gig. I want that convenience in my life. Do I feel like a turd every time I put one on? Yeah. Will I get
It
over
is
that?
a-
Probably not.
it is a hands-free belt satchel, sir.
Hands-free belt satchel. Okay. That's happening. That's gonna happen.
I just
So
use
when
a
people
backpack
ask
to get
you-
rid of it.
You say, this is not a fanny pack. This is a
No.
quality hands-free belt satchel.
I think you just
Sir.
justified me purchasing said hands-free belt satchel. So I'm gonna dork out for a second. I went to Public Lands for the first time. You guys ever been to one of these fucking stores? You guys
No.
outdoor geeks?
No.
Okay. So it's
Public
like an
Lands.
outdoorsy store, kind of like REI, but like on
Okay,
crack.
I know what REI is.
Okay, but imagine REI, but like with every brand and every single fucking thing you could think of that has to do with outside. I'm an outside nerd, and it sent me into like I had to leave. I was about to
You're
spend
like,
every
don't open a
dollar I
store
had.
card.
Oh no. I had to leave. Like even the salesman was like, it's your first time here, isn't it? But I'm like,
How did
it was
you know?
amazing. But they had a whole bunch of outdoor gear I wanted and couldn't afford. And I just geeked out from that.
Shouldn't be that. It shouldn't cost that much to be outside.
No.
You're damn right. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. But when you spend, buy once, cry
it's-
once.
Yeah. It shouldn't cost that much money to be outside when buying a house is ridiculous. Like,
So here's
take
my
a
gig.
struggle.
The problem is we have turned outdoor gear into a fashion. The Pacific
dude.
Northwest thrives in I'm looking like I'm about to go on a hike at any moment. And you fucktwads have now made my clothes twice as much as expensive than they should be because you've made it a market for fashion when it used to be function, and now you're ruining my gear. Get off of it. Get off of it.
When the hunter rain boots, that every Becky owns and
And
wears
now
with
you
her
can't buy quality
puff.
rain boots because they fucking
Yeah.
ruined them. No, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I know
with her
exactly
little
what
puff white vest.
it is. The Leia look. I'm with you. No, I'm 100% with you. Same.
Rain boots were my bread and butter. Like
Why'd
when
you
all
ruin
of
it?
that was going up, because I have horses and I am, and in the Pacific Northwest, we are, knee deep in horse shit and rain and mud
And that
in,
makes sense.
February.
Right.
So when my boots get a hole in the side and I have to go to the store, and not only are the boots mediocre quality now
Mhm.
because they're just mass produced,
And
they're
for
also
fashion, not for function.
3 times the price
Mhm.
of what they were in these ridiculous colors and patterns. I'm like, I just want some black rain boots. They're gonna get covered in horse shit anyway.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So I deal
It
with that.
hasn't died out yet either.
I deal with that with buying hiking boots. I spend a lot of time walking around outside. The quality of shoe that I expect at the price point that is happening is often what is not delivered, because
Yep.
they're like, oh, wait, you actually went fucking hiking in it? You voided the warranty. You went in the goddamn woods, man. What do you mean? Like,
It's like when you take your Jeep off-roading for the first time, and they're like, wait, you actually took it off of the pavement?
you know,
That
what
voids
it's
your
there for.
warranty,
you know, that's 22s in chrome, right?
right?
Mud will scratch.
Sir, this is
that.
a factory build.
It'll scratch that. One of my least favorite things in the world, and I'm sorry, all my friends that do this, is modded Jeeps. There's a line. Okay. There's a line. There's a motherfucking line. And you guys all forgot where it was.
All my buddies that own Jeeps, they're all like that. I mean, they just mod the living shit out of it, man.
Why?
It's like,
Why?
and they
Why?
rarely ever go off road, man.
then
They
they break it.
rarely ever go.
And then
Yeah.
it's broken. And then they bitch about it being broken. And it's like a race car, right? You make anything go fast, it's going to break. That's how it works, because you're pushing the limits of what you're doing. If you make a car that you're pushing the limits of what it can do and then don't use it for its intended use, it's going to break. You put
And
super heavy
they jack
springs on
these
something.
things up.
Mhm.
Yeah, they jack these things up 6-8 inches in the air, throw 38 super swampers on them, and they're
I
like,
love that you know what they're
why
calling you, fucking
are my
Florida
U-joints
girl.
going out every 6 months? Well, you're driving it at 80 miles an hour down the
An hour.
freeway to Seattle.
Yep, that's made
Um,
for mud. You're on pavement.
I had one of those Jeeps, and I sold it because that's what I was doing to it. And I was like, this was not built to do this, and I cannot ruin this Jeep this way. It needs to go to somebody that's going to use it the way that it was meant to be used, which is crawling up the side of a mountain.
Right.
I'm
So-
not going to do that.
When you put lifted suspensions and heavier suspensions for outdoor rock crawling and all this shit on there, and you don't break them in, they stay in that stiff pre-use form, and they literally get brittle because they haven't been used to working. So after a while of not getting used, all of a sudden you need it to be a fucking leaf or a spring, and it goes because it hasn't been being used until
Yeah,
it's like,
and now your Jeep's driving like this.
Pigged it out.
yeah. I don't.
And
I just
the trucks they do down here in Florida are wild.
the squatted trucks.
The Carolina squat, or the ones that are like, they're taller. I'm almost 6 feet tall. They're taller than me up to
Right.
the wheel well. And I'm like, you see these little 5-foot people get, I'm like, how the hell do you get up there?
They have
I
ladders.
Yeah.
can't get up
Got
there.
a ladder.
Yeah.
Like a
A
running
ladder.
jump.
A running jump. Yeah.
I just don't get it. Like, maybe it's because I've never been in a position of privilege to where I can double the cost of my vehicle and never recoup that money out of it. So therefore I frown on it. Just like the guys that I work inside of a custom motorcycle shop, right? I work for a plumbing company, but our office is inside of a custom motorcycle shop. And I love everything they do, but I'm just like, that's so impractical. There's no way I'm putting $60,000 worth of accessories on a $30,000 motorcycle.
Oh.
My bike doesn't have turn signals.
See,
There's
that's
a
gross
lot.
even saying that. 30,000 for a motorcycle.
Exactly, bro. I got
Christ.
$5,000 in
Oh
both.
my
mine. I'll
God,
wreck 'em
you just
right
about made
now.
me want to go, what the fuck?
I love it. I in no way, shape, or form am bashing it. Obviously, I'm closely connected to that, like those people, but like, nah, I can't fathom spending that kind of money or putting super swampers on a Jeep that if you're not balls deep
Swamping.
running that thing in mud bogging, what do you
Yep.
Think about it though. These people that are dropping $65,000 on a Rubicon and then throwing another 40,000 in customs, they're not worried about how much it costs.
so just give me that money.
I know.
Throw that
I've
out
done
there.
it.
Give me
Carrie.
30K. Let's see what I do with it. I bet you it goes to better use than your fucking tires.
Yeah, I would get a Land Rover
speaking
before
from
I would
somebody
get a goddamn
from-
Jeep.
If I'm spending 100K on a vehicle, I'm buying a 100K vehicle. I'm
Yeah, I'm
putting
gonna
30
spend
grand
that.
with
If I'm-
accessories and the shit. I'm getting something that drives its fucking self.
Tesla.
Tesla.
I would, here in Florida, when it rains, it's a curtain. Like you can't see 4, 2, 3 feet in front of you because it's just buckets. And it would be nice if my car drove up to the side of the store while I'm anchored down with grocery bags and a 7-year-old trying to get through the parking lot without getting hit.
You went out.
If it would just drive up to the store where, it drive itself to me, then I could just load,
I'm a
But no,
big
I
fan of
didn't.
all
I
the
didn't
words
buy
you're
a
using.
Tesla. I bought a Ford Explorer, but it's still a good car. It just doesn't drive itself.
I bought a Ford Explorer.
Hindsight's 2020.
Well, my thing is again, at that price point, I can't live in this $100,000 car, and my 4-bedroom house was less than that. How do you, huh? Like, I got a good job too. How the fuck y'all people do this shit? I really just don't get it. I really just don't get it.
Now it's like $100,000 is the new poverty line.
It's dumb.
You make $100,000 a year, and you're like, oh, you must be lower class.
It's like every time I'm like, oh, yay, I got a good job. They're like, oh, wait, but here's a gap. And you're like, you fuck faces.
But don't you make $1 more, or else you're in the 25% tax bracket.
Oh, yeah. Fuck every second of that. Oh, by the way, you worked too much. Now you have less. What? How did that even? Huh? That seems backwards. So again, it's all coming from a place of hate. Someone that's never experienced that level of income or life. But don't get me wrong, hate is gonna hate because they ain't been there. And I recognize
still
that.
a flavor.
Hey,
salty
all
is
the
still
flavors,
a flavor.
I choose to be salty. But like, I just don't. I don't understand that mindset at all. So again, I got a modded car and all this shit, but like at the same time, I don't get the doubling and tripling the value of your vehicle. Have fun, do what you love. I'm not mad at you. I just don't understand it.
Well, it comes back to, people don't understand. A lot of times people walking down the street don't understand why tattoo collectors spend all their money on their tattoos.
And that's why I start with all the love. I just don't
all
understand.
the love. Yeah.
Like you do, you have fun. I'm happy. You're happy and having a blast. No hate.
I picture that Spider-Man meme where they're all like this.
I mean, just we're good. No, I mean, I do mean that. Like, I'm happy anybody's happy. If swamp boating's your fucking thing and you want to build a fan boat and light it up and go hunt gators and you drop 200K on your setup, go live your life.
No problem.
But
go live your best life. Boo.
Don't drop 200K on your swamp boat and then just leave it in your backyard. I guess that's my point.
Yeah.
Same with the modded Jeep, same with the turbo bikes, same with the, like if you bought something to sit it in your garage just to say you own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Donate that to Kids Fund.
Are you
We all have our hobbies.
Sponsor a fucking baseball team or something. I don't know.
Hey, we all have our hobbies.
Just ideas. No, that was my whole point. I was just saying that, Todd. I was just like, just because I don't understand it doesn't mean it's not awesome for you.
I got a buddy that he mods his cards up and that and loves it and
my car
more
goes faster
more
than
power
it
to
should.
him.
Yeah, like again, I'm talking shit about something I dabble in myself, but it's the to the extreme. I don't understand. You know what I mean?
Have you seen the Mexicans out in LA in that area? What they do to their cars, the old cars and that?
Oh,
I
bro,
mean,
let
my
me tell you,
God.
half of my Instagram feed is Lobos. Okay. The super crushed glass fucking pinstripe. Oh,
Like,
that's my jam, bro. If I could get a 66 custless on bags right now that was 14 different shades of purple and like one pearlescent stripe down the front on white walls and feelers, I'm
You're like, I will sell my kidney.
one of the owners of one of the partners in Hustle Butter has an old Impala.
love it.
Oh my God, was that car fucking sweet?
Yeah. It's all from a place of jealousy. I started that with this. I'm gonna reiterate. It's just because I'm a hater.
When
I drive a low right now.
when my husband and I got together back in 2012, he had just bought a 66 Chevelle.
Good taste.
And it was
Yeah.
so beautiful. It was beautiful. The transmission was built.
You keep saying was, and my heart's hurting.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, baby came a year later and just wasn't practical. He just got out of the Navy, and we were, young and in love and broke as fuck. So, so sacrifices.
Fire goes.
I
Bye.
look back on that and I'm just like, I wish we never would have gotten rid of it.
You're talking about a whole level of my house that used to be the pool table room, aka the boom boom room. And the boom boom room got broke down for babies and became the master bedroom, and then the babies room. And now it's just me, big old house, and I want my boom boom room back. I'm setting up the table. I'm tearing down walls. We're reverting. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Go find somewhere else to be.
There you
Oh.
go. I'm just putting the pool table back up. Yeah, the sacrifices we make when children enter our lives.
Man, and they don't get it. They don't get it.
My kid's pretty cool. I know she doesn't get it, but like I will imply that she does just so I feel better about it. You know what I mean?
Kids are great.
We get
They
along
really
just
are. And they're like
Especially when they move
free
out.
entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, they're out of the house.
I got a long time before that, Todd. My kid is 4. I don't even want to
Poor
think.
Man,
Oh,
4
poor
is
you.
such a
Oh my
fun
God.
age.
She's a blast. I mean,
They're
Yeah.
so funny.
literally I'm bummed that I just missed my good night calls. But like
You got
she's a
9 years of
blast.
bliss. You got 9 years of bliss, and then when they turn
Don't-
teenager, forget
don't
it.
ruin things for me, Todd. Don't ruin
Get it?
things for me. She's gonna be an amazing human being. I'm gonna keep riding that fucking
Mhm.
train. I'm gonna be such an awesome influence on this child's life that she's not even gonna be a twat when she's a teenager, just like I was.
Judo and jujitsu. It's gonna be a game changer.
I do jujitsu.
So does my 7-year-old.
Love it.
She's actually
Very
she just missed the Naga camp competition down here in
Killing it.
Tampa this past weekend, but she is doing the U.S. Open in June or July for judo.
Amazing. What's she ranked?
So right now she's a yellow belt.
Perfect.
She's ready to test out into an orange belt, but she can't compete at the U.S. Open as an orange belt. So we're
Right.
hoping that she belts at the top of the competition because she's right at the
Perfect.
top of the Bantam 4 class. So,
Podium belts are the best.
yeah.
For
So
even Matt's side.
hopefully,
Matt's side. I
Fingers-
mean, it doesn't
fingers
have to be a
crossed.
podium for it to rule. Any competition promotion is amazing. There's
Yeah.
a level of I don't know, when you watch somebody get that next ump on a podium or on the side of the mat and the whole fucking room lights up. There's talk about being in a room of people with same camaraderie, like-minded. Like that's
Yeah.
another one of those places that there's no vibe like that. We just
Exactly.
choked each other unconscious and hugged when we were done.
let's go get some pizza.
Yes, I made weight.
Yeah.
My least favorite experience in jiu-jitsu of all time was I was trying to trim down to not be a super heavyweight. I'm like, I will be under 220. God damn it, I will be under 220. There was no weight cap, right? And I'm like, I don't want to fight a 350 pound, not my gig. Like, so I cut all kinds of weight, dropped down to like 215 to be comfy, top of the weight class. Nope. Get there. Lack of attendance. They merged my weight class with the one above mine in the age bracket below mine. And I proceed to get fist bucked by Darth London. This kid walks out like, so, you want me to, I looked at my coach and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And he just laughed. He's like, yeah, you got it.
Got this. You got this.
I died for the next 4 minutes. I got off the mat. I was like, I don't want to fight again. I'm tired. That was horrible.
You know what I like about, at least with, you know, my daughter, is that JoJo has a lot of girls. So like the camaraderie for the girls in her, you know, her team is really high, and it helps that her sensei, all 4 of his girls do judo and BJJ. She does both all week long, 5 days a week. And so like, you know, when we go to these competitions, we usually go 20 to 30 kids deep. We go as a team and we go for team trophy. Like, it's huge. Like they go deep and they get team trophies, and it really helps boost the kids' confidence.
That's amazing.
And you know, like we never have to, like, I don't, at least because my daughter goes to school with, you know, his daughters and stuff. I don't really have to worry about bullies or, you know, her not being able to take care of herself, because if she can't, they can, and they always have each other's backs.
Well, and it also teaches a level of confidence where you don't have to lower your standards of how you're going to be treated. So you take a lot of that space to be bullied away, because you don't allow the conditions to be treated that poorly, because you're not afraid to be like, the fuck did you just say to me? And as a culture, we've lost that. We've lost the ability to not allow people to treat us poorly without being punished for it. If you stick up for yourself and you are now the instigator, they poked, but I poked back. Now I'm the bad guy. Is malarkey.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry. It's got to, if you don't allow that space to be mistreated, and you set the parameters of how you allow people to interact with you, it's a game changer. It's a game changer.
Guys, sorry guys, I gotta get out of here. I didn't realize I gotta do something.
You're good, brother.
I gotta get my kid a bath before.
You're good, brother.
Doctor's appointment. So
get some rest, my friend. It was good to see you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. It
was nice to meet you. Nice talking to you.
Nice meeting you. Yep.
I probably won't be on show next week, so we'll be set up. So I will probably just see you at the show.
I know we're going to do a show. I know we're doing a show there, me and Fawn. I know that for sure, but you know, maybe we'll drag you away for a few minutes.
If I am fully available to do that, I'm willing, but my priorities lie with my position with Hell City. I love podcasts,
I get that.
And I just gotta. I don't want there to be a moment where I'm disappointing people, and I feel like that's going to happen no matter what I say, and I don't like that. Like, so I'm just trying to be like, okay, guys, I want to play, but I don't know if I'm allowed.
All right, so I'll see you. I'll definitely see you next week.
All right, be safe, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Yep. Peace, guys.
So yeah, the anti-bullying aspect of being able to control those situations and like you said, having those people to have your back is something we've kind of lost. And it's very, very, I think that's really cool to be able to have that close knit group. The gym that I go to was starting out and smaller. As a group, we were all very tight knit, don't get me wrong, but we didn't have that 20, 30 kids deep, you know, like that to me is amazing. I love that.
And it's all ages, you know, it's kids from 4 to 17. And they all go together and they all look out for each other. And it's awesome, because these kids, they're not just learning how to be confident with themselves. They're learning how to be confident for their friends and you know, help share some of that confidence to help
social interaction
on the mat. And learning how to lose is just as important.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Jiu-jitsu is,
and, you know, like they don't do that participation shit
Right. It is the most humbling and empowering experience I've ever done in my life. It is simultaneously when you get choked out by somebody that is 100 pounds lighter than you and they do it with ease, there is no like, oh, I guess
Forced to be reckoned with.
I don't know shit, I guess. I don't not really like, and that was the biggest thing I took from it. You get off the mat feeling like $1 million, like I just survived that. It's not even necessarily that you even did well.
Yeah.
My favorite days of jujitsu were the days that I got trampled. Nothing I did work tonight. I don't know, but by the end of the night, when you fought all night to make it through and you get off the mat and you're like, I'm alive. That didn't hurt me. That didn't phase me. That didn't stop me. That didn't slow me down.
You're like, I have learned something today.
Even in
Well, exactly.
losing.
It takes that stun away too. Like, you learn better reaction time with everything, not just with physical response. Your cognitive response is rapidly increased because you've got to be quick on your feet.
Right.
If you see your opponent trying to throw you and they're pushing, you need to know what kind of throw to counter that with. You need to pull them, and you have to be able to engage that part of your brain like that.
If you don't teach conflict resolution in that moment is panic and not solution, when the pathway to connection is, I've been in this conflict before, I've not scared of it, I understand what's going to happen, and I know no matter what, I'm going to make it through. That's a super, super empowering thing. So not to off John, but you want to meet my kid because she's calling me to say
yeah.
So this is Lily Bell.
Hi,
Say, Lily,
Lily.
can you say hi? We're at podcast right now. Do you want to say hello? This is Kayla. She has a super, super, super cool big tattoo.
Hi, Lily.
All right. So Daddy just has to go, but I wanted to say goodnight, okay? Okay. Well, tell me about him later, okay? All right. Okay. I love you, beautiful. Okay. All right. I love you. Bye, baby. Bye. So, sorry, but I will pause life to say goodnight to my child. We talk once or twice a day, and those phone calls to me are pretty important. And normally on podcast night, we touch base before we get here, but I was running late and didn't have time to reach out first. So we make a strong.
It's always
effort
nice when your kid wants to have that. Go ahead.
No, it's we're shifting into living in separate houses. So her mom and I split up about 8 months ago, and the availability to maintain that communication is, I'm very, very fucking fortunate that we are both kid first, and I don't ever want to downplay the importance of having somebody that is just as invested in our child's development as I am and doesn't want to sever that connection. We don't hate each other, we just can't live together. So it's one of those, like, a lot of people don't understand that's my moment. I'm gonna take it. Sorry.
No, absolutely.
I've been in pool matches. Fawn and I are in a pool league, and I've literally looked at the guy I'm shooting at him like, hey, like I'll stop the world to say goodnight to my kids. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, and the people that don't understand that there's a value there that's missing that you don't necessarily want too close to you.
Yep.
Again,
I'll take that shield.
Yeah, like the right people get it, even if they don't have kids.
Yup. Again, I'll take that shield. If you're too ignorant to understand that saying goodnight to my daughter is important to the development of my kid, you can pretty much fuck off. I don't want to be in the circle. It's okay. We don't like each other. It's okay. It's okay. Not everyone's your people, and that's hard to understand. And that's why when you fall into a jiu-jitsu community, and that's why when you fall into this niche and you fall into these group of people that genuinely have an interest in a shared bond, and that's, we were talking about that with the tattoo community. We were talking about that with your kids' jiu-jitsu experience. It's so important to find your tribe. It's so important to have a place to express yourself. It's so important to have a place to be expressive and be yourself and live who you are freely, authentically, wholly. And that is fucking rare. And I feel more and more privileged and more recognize the fact that that's rare. And I've come into contact with people like, so what do you do? What do you mean? You come to work and then go home and have chicken and broccoli and go to bed every night? Like you don't paint, you don't skate, you don't fucking snowboard, you don't go camping, you don't backpack, you don't kayak, you don't have a group of friends, you're not in a bridge club, you're not on a pool team, what do you do? How do you, And it makes me reflect and makes me more appreciative and makes me realize that I'm fucking fortunate to be in the loop that I'm in a lot of different areas of my life. So.
Yeah. I think some of the best advice I ever got from somebody was, if you cannot count them all on one hand, you have a few friends too many. And the difference between a friend and an acquaintance is a very important definition that everybody should know.
Absolutely. A friend is a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to qualify in a lot of people's minds. And it's okay. It's okay to have acquaintances. It's not rude to keep people at an arm's length. It's
absolutely.
That's what a boundary is. I know that's tough to fucking wrap your brain around sometimes.
Novel concept.
If you don't agree with somebody, you don't have to hate them, but you also don't have to warm them into your life. Like you can be arm's distance and agree and love and be in the same room and be happy to see each other and genuinely want to spend time together and not want them necessarily involved in your day-to-day. And those people that you want involved in your day-to-day, tell them that. Make sure they know they're special.
Oh, every chance you get. Yeah.
Keep them close. Sure. I hug friends and I love yous all the time because that's your people. That's who you lean on. When shit's down, if I got 5 phone calls, I know who they are, like keep them close. And that's again, I'm very, very appreciative and very fortunate to be in the loop that I'm in. So
yeah, for sure. Well, and like I feel like as big as like, the judo and the jujitsu and the tattoo community is, it's also very small. It's small in the sense that it's a certain breed, and that breed is rare. And while it might seem big because you're in a room with a lot of people that have the same ideas as you, and you take it and look at it next to something bigger, you're like, this is a very tight knit community. And even within that community, there's niches.
If you look at I look at all those things as like a tree. Okay. At the core, it's the same fucking 15 people, even in the jiu-jitsu community. Okay.
Yeah.
So even when you step back to like the national scale, there's a few East Coast reps, there's a few Midwest reps, there's a few, you know what I'm saying? Like there's highlights in every area. And in those areas, they're branched into their family and they're branched into their sub schools and they're branched into their smaller schools. And inside of those big schools, there's the no-gi guys and the all-gi guys and the guys that compete and the guys that are hobbyists and the guys that are there just because they're fat and they want to work out. Like that was me. I was fat. I just want to work out. So like there's levels and acceptance in all of that, and being willing to participate is half the fucking battle. So I love that camaraderie, that sense of belonging, that we're a team. Win, lose, and draw. We're in this shit together. We're at a shitty convention. There's fucking 35 of us though, and we don't have to swallow. We don't have to fucking sit here and take it. We can all get together and still decide to have a good time. Look, who's back in the studio.
Is it Vaughn? Is she back?
Fucking tastic.
Awesome.
Back from street teaming it up.
And look, I was even following along like a responsible person. So.
Yay, fun.
Silently participating in the conversation, and you didn't even know.
Oh.
Something that I
be a part of that community. Sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. Something that I took from that experience in Tampa was like, I've only ever had experiences where I was judged by my tattoos for having too much, right? And when I walked into the convention, I was like, I feel like I'm being judged because I don't have enough.
The
deposits are low and I need to get more.
Yep. Yep.
Scales are not balanced.
It's one of those things when you realize there's different levels to it. It's just like watching a really good guitar player and you realize that, oh my God, I played
Yeah.
guitar for 15 years and I still ain't shit. And pool, anything that's
This
like a
John Mayer
painting
song
or
is nothing.
right. Oh, so I thought I was good, but that guy's amazing. And then there's people that are savants that can put shit on paper and or music and or macrame or whatever your thing is, that still mind-boggling. Say some words, fine. I want to make sure it makes sense.
Words. Here we go. Words.
There she is.
So let me ask you this. So what you've got so far is amazing. So like feeling like, you know, you're not totally covered when you're like in competitions and stuff, but like what you have is very, very nice. Do you plan on continuing, or how much coverage do you plan on pursuing with your collection?
She didn't listen to the home combo.
Neck down.
Neck down?
Yeah, that was earlier in the conversation when you were on your way to High Street. I went into this originally when I first contacted Tony about this piece. I was just going to be the piece one and done. I hadn't given it a lot of thought about venturing past that. I've always, that's obviously recently changed, but I had always had more of like a conservative approach for myself for tattoos. And a lot of that was because, you know, a lot of the professions that I work in, there's not much grace in, or what's the word I'm looking for here? Understanding or appreciation. That's the better. There's not a lot of appreciation for that as art. It's more of the judgment that comes with it, and a lot of it's curiosity more than judgment, but it still has sort of that negative connotation behind.
It's a layer you got to break through. Even if it's accepted, you have this like, I now have to prove to you that I am not a criminal, and that's never fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and like one of the big things is like, I am a server part-time. And so like, I know that a lot of times people look at my tattoos and they probably assume that I can't get a better job than serving. And the reality is that if I worked 7 days a week, I'd probably make more than them in a week than they make in a month.
Yep.
But I don't.
Samesies.
I like to work a couple of days a week, pay for my tattoos, pay for my jet ski, and call it good.
Where do you?
I'm fortunate
somewhere? Enough.
Yeah.
Sure
Yeah. But
that's how I got all these sweet tattoos
piece
with my shitty job.
yeah, because they're cheap, right?
Did you get them in jail?
Cheap tattoos out there, but this is not. That's another question I get asked a lot. How much did you spend on your tattoo? I'm like, I'm not trying to be an ass here, but if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Like,
well, not even
that's
that.
not being rude.
What I paid for my tattoo is not what you're going to pay for your tattoo. I am privileged enough that I get tattooed by my friends, and what they charge me is a personal fucking relationship between me and my goddamn artist. You can forge that relationship yourself, and it's rude of me. It's like asking your dad how much money he makes.
It goes back to like another one of the manners pet peeves. Yeah, it's you don't.
Yeah.
There are just certain questions that like.
If you would like to speak with my artist, you are more.
It's like asking a woman if she's pregnant. You just don't.
Oops.
Don't do it. Just go. But
just let it go.
I digress. When I got this piece, I was not planning on getting anything more than just this piece. I had some ideas for like smaller things, but I was saying that when I originally got it, it was just going to be this. And then I told him, hey, these are my ideas, sent him a bunch of pictures and said, these are the elements from each of these pictures that I really liked. If you can pull these together and make it your own, here is the creative freedom, take it and run with it. This is how big I'm looking to get. And he spent several months drafting it. And I didn't see the piece until I got to the studio the day of my appointment. And he's like, okay, he did call me on the way. He said, look, I have an idea. I have a backup plan, but this is what I want to go with. And I'd like you to keep an open mind. And it was a full high thigh to ankle leg piece. And I'm on my way to my session. I'm like, I don't want to tell him no. And I'm afraid to say no, but as soon as I saw it, I never could have imagined having it different than what it is. Like that, there's no way I could have imagined anything better than this. And it sort of set the stage. Like it completely changed my mind about
Love it.
literally going big or go home.
Love
And I
it.
think that really speaks to the quality of artists that I found, because I could have
Absolutely.
went to anybody and just said, hey, give me, you know, the run of the mill Medusa tattoo. And that probably would have been it. But
And
I
again,
spent a
your
long time
your
finding the right
approach
person.
was dead on. Your patience was dead on. And when you have the fortitude to go through the process correctly, you get results. And that's
Mhm.
what we
Yeah.
talk about.
And you know, I think really, I think one of the biggest reasons that this, I mean, I'm obviously biased. I love my tattoo, but I really do think that one of the reasons why this tattoo turned out the way that it did is because I gave him the freedom to do his job. I didn't
Mhm.
put, you know, I
Absolutely.
didn't give him those limitations, because as soon as you start boxing him in, he's got to cut out these ideas. You know, he's like, oh, that'd be so cool, but I can't do this. So I got to
Think of it like a
improvise.
Google search. The more specific you get in that search bar, the less options you get. If you put
Yeah.
car into the search bar, how many cars do you think are going to come up? You put in
Mhm.
red car, you just cut that down by a jabillion.
75%.
So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So red car with 4 doors. Do you see what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
do that to art.
Yeah.
Limit your train
absolutely.
of thought, limit your parameters, limit what you generally go through as a process of creativity to my specific demands. Is rude of a client asking someone whose art is what drew you to them in the first
Yeah.
place. I love what you
Absolutely.
do, but do it fucking different for me, because I'm better at it than you are.
Well,
is
and
what
you know,
you're
I think one of the big problems that, at least from the conversations that I've had with my artist and just kind of what I've seen from, you know, online and following forums and stuff like this, is that people see these pieces of art online, or they see concept art on, you know, deviant art and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, that's what I want, and they take this picture and say, do this. Okay, you are never going
using
to
it as
get
a starting point.
Yeah.
Yep.
you're never going to get that same element in a copycat piece.
Nope. Even if you go to the
You
same
won't.
artist,
Mhm.
Yeah.
your leg looks different.
Yes.
You're a different human being. The light is going to hit your leg shape different than that person's leg shape.
That's something where, like, as a tattooer, for the first few years, I would do pretty much anything anybody put in front of me. I like, if you wanted something, I would be like, challenge accepted. Let's try it.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
But there came a distinctive moment where, like, in my consultations, I would actually like start saying to people, like, yes, I am capable of doing this, but like I'll be faking it. Like I'll be like let's say somebody came to me and they wanted like a black and gray bio piece with like slime and tongues and things like that. It's like, yes, I'm capable of doing that. Like I could do that for you, but like you could also just go to Nathan Marty, because
Right.
like I would just be
Or-
like, how would Nathan Marty do this, and tattoo it in that way?
Yeah.
So like if I'm already faking it,
What would
like
Brad
I would
Boitano
rather
do?
you just go to the artist who you want me to fake.
Right.
Like just go to them, because odds are we're probably in the same ballpark of price. We're probably in the same ballpark of a waiting list.
Yeah.
But-
And that's the other thing. Waiting lists. Like people get so mad that they've got to wait 6 months to get in somebody's seat. I'm like, what do you this isn't a fast food restaurant. This isn't even a sit down restaurant. If you go to Ruth Chris, it's a 2-month wait list.
Mhm.
You go to Ruth Chris Steakhouse, you're going to be waiting 2 months to sit down and have a $200 steak.
Yep.
And you'll do that.
You know how
but
long it takes to order a car right now?
Yeah.
You know how
I
long
do.
it takes to purchase a home right now?
It's exactly.
And
And
this
you know,
is it's
it's
the
like
same level of expectation.
trusting the process. I got in with my artist and I said, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And I was very fortunate that when I brought him my piece and I gave him that free reign to do what he wanted with my piece, he opened spots in his book that had not been available because he was really excited about the
Now
art. And I
he's
think that's
bummed.
just as important as you need somebody that's excited to work with you. And if
Oh,
you don't
that's
have
so
that
important.
relationship with them and you're not excited about the art that you're putting on your body for the rest of your life, you're not going to
uninspired.
get work that is appreciated by either of you.
It's uninspired. If you want
yeah.
that extra layer of excellence, the artist needs to see that extra layer of excellence. If they are compromising their vision initially anyway, they're doing exactly what you want, taking it to the quality and standard that you presented them with, as opposed to letting them do their fucking job.
Yes, 100%. And like letting him do this piece, I had aspirations. I was like, oh, I'd love to be the person that has the leg sleeve or has my arm sleeves. I didn't have the courage to do that because I was afraid. I've had experiences with tattooers versus tattoo artists, where I have tattoos that I regret and now I want to cover them up. So I think that really drove the nail home of do your fucking research,
Yep.
do it right the first time, and find somebody that you like enough that you can trust. Because with that first consultation, that's a blind trust. You're trusting them blindly.
Right.
And you're not really going to know if that that investment was quite worth it until you see the finished product.
Right.
Because, it is the difference between the tattoo pictures that get 80,000 likes and the ones that get 800 likes. The person that let their artist do that fourth pass on detail work, even though the tattoo looked great before, they're like, I can make this better.
Right.
And I think
again, inspired art has a level of commitment that uninspired art does not. When you're both on the same goal, you're both reaching for the same level of quality. And anytime you ask somebody to dull down their process and their experience and their expertise, it's rude as shit.
Yeah.
It's rude as shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you paint high-end custom boats. Would you mind just spray painting this for me?
But what if I did stand it first?
If I did all the work and made your work shitty first, would that help? I don't understand it. As an unskilled and untrained expertise in any art form, why the fuck would you ask them to do something different than they do every day? You came to them because you love what they do. You came to them because you see the quality that they put out. You've done your research. You're a qualified candidate. You're a qualified client. And you show up and you're like, hey, by the way, do that different.
Yeah. Well, and like a part of that decision too, like me deciding that, and it's obviously going to be a very long journey getting everything done. Right. I recognize it's probably going to be a decade of consistent work. And as of right now, last December, I booked a tattoo session every single month, all of 2022. Because I want to make sure I'm in his books. I'm serious about it. And now my husband also gets tattooed by him. So what we've done is every other month we take turns in his chair. Beautiful. But we still go together. Like when we go to these sessions, we all go together and we're all brainstorming ideas for our tattoos.
Yep.
It's nice to see that like commitment and that momentum is that's what every tattooer wants.
I've never been so excited to suffer for 8 hours.
Fawn and I were just talking a while back about how to increase the level of commitment and understanding of an artist's position in valuing time and preset and blah, 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 blah. And it's one of those things. It's like, y'all can write the book. And it's time for the mindset of how these interactions happen to change. It's a different level now. The availability of artists and professionalism, and we can do better.
There's always room to
like as a goddamn group, we can organize this.
Well, and that's one of the things that makes this show so important is because people need to know, like, you're not limited to the handful of artists that are in your hometown. Right. This is a lifelong commitment, whether it's large or small. It's a lifelong commitment to your homework. And then don't be afraid to travel a little bit to whoever does the niche thing that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then once you
Mhm.
meet that person, you're going to find out like if they're into the same niche of a little nuanced art style
Mhm.
that you're into, you probably have so much more in common with your personality
Yeah.
than just that art. You're probably way
Yeah.
more on the wavelength if you're like visually attracted to similar things and your
Mhm.
tastes are similar. Like it's crazy when it's like when we talk about vibes, because it's kind of like everybody uses that word kind of like
Loosely.
very loosely.
Yeah,
like,
like,
when
it's
you-
a comma.
Yeah, when you actually find an artist that is truly on the same like vibrational frequency as you, then that's where the freedom and the play comes from. Like you can sit down and you can trust that artist because you know that artist has the same visions and is like-minded and only wants the best for you and your collection. And when your tastes are already similar, you have that trust, and you can like even if you don't 100% envision their description or their drawing, you can trust them to do something that you know that you can trust them to do something that you're going to love.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. And it helps if you take the time to just sit back and observe. Don't just look at the tattoos that they've done in the last month. Look at the tattoos that they did 5 years ago and see how they held up.
Yeah, that's
You know,
something I
like-
actually encourage people to do with my work. A lot of artists that will kind of like narrow down their Instagram and they'll pull old photos off and stuff. But like I encourage people scroll back 6 or 7
Right.
years on my Instagram. Like look at what I was doing then versus what I'm doing now, and imagine what I'm going to
Yeah.
be doing in 6 months when your turn for me to work on you comes along. Like it's only going to
Yeah, for
grow,
sure.
you know.
Well, and also that's a good way to check in on the longevity of their work.
Yep.
Mhm.
I mean, you find these pieces and, you know, I wasn't afraid to say, hey, do you have any pictures of some of your old pieces that you've taken or you've had your clients send you in the last 6
Mhm.
months?
How your
Like,
tattoos hold up over time
Mhm.
is
Yeah,
very, very
yeah.
important. This is a lifetime commitment for me. This
I-
is just another tattoo for the artist. I mean that in the best way. They're always developing and always moving forward. It's another step in their game, no matter how you look at it. No tattoo artist is ever going to say they're done learning. No tattoo artist is ever going to say there's a trick that they don't know.
Yeah.
I've never met one that arrogant. So to say that is completed, or you know what I'm saying, like their journey's never
Yeah.
done. So it's
Yeah,
almost
absolutely.
arrogant to not want to see something that's healed, to not want to see something that's completed. Like
I
your homework.
completely agree. And you know, like when we wrapped this piece up, he was like, this took my career to a new level. Like it has raised my own bar for myself to say, I have to be able to outdo this.
Yep.
And like, I feel so honored to have been able to provide that opportunity for somebody, because I'm on the same page with you. Like there's always something more to learn. The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know that you don't
You
even
don't
know
know.
that you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
It's just a lot of not knowing stuff.
No, it's a funny thing because like one of the things I like to like explore a lot is the accidental things we learn as collectors. Like we can talk about the skill of artists, and I could talk about how long it's taken me to like evolve into subtle new like nuances of some of the techniques that I use. But like as a collector, there are a lot of things that I have learned and achieved and stumbled onto by accident. Like I
Mhm.
didn't even ask to learn some of the lessons that I've learned from collecting tattoos. I didn't ask for some of the experiences that I've had through collecting, but like that's part of getting tattooed, and whether you want it or not,
Mhm.
here it comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Like
do.
those,
I
like,
do.
you know, when you've been tattooed for 6 or 7 or 8 hours already and you're ready to tap out and your artist is like, nah, you got more gas in your tank. We're going to get this done today. And you're like, I don't want to.
tattoos.
But you got to
No.
keep it in and you got to
Yeah.
do it.
I
and
don't
you
keep
gotta
it
be
in. I
stoic
look you
about
dead
it.
in the face and go, no, whatever, go ahead.
I'm done.
But like, but
Yeah.
you've still got to be stoic. Like you might have that moment where you pout, but you take a breath and you suck it up and you do it so that your artist
absolutely.
can get both of your vision
Absolutely.
achieved. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
That's where it's like,
Yeah.
and that's where you learn the teamwork, and that's where you learn like
Fortitude.
you know, you've talked about it a lot, the connection between the artist and the collector and how special that is. But even that is something that as a tattooer, I didn't expect to learn. And as a tattoo collector, I didn't expect to learn about that special exchange of like spirit. It's
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
information. It's an
skin
exchange of
skin to
spirit.
skin contact.
Yeah, it's incredibly
There's
intimate.
a weird thing that people don't realize that we miss on it. It's like even like Fawn and I hang out all the time. Brush arms, we're still like we literally see each other 2-3 times a week. And it's not that this is super weird, but it's not normal. It's not. So even now, sitting next to one of my best friends, touching her arm is like, okay, I should scoot over a little bit. Skin to skin contact is not something that happens on a daily basis. And to have that transfer of it, it's the same as in jujitsu.
Mhm.
That's why you trust those motherfuckers
Yeah.
so much. You
Yep.
sweat in my mouth.
Yeah.
I know you on a level that I shouldn't know you. You have had your hands around my neck. I've trusted you not to break my arms. I've trusted you not to break my legs. When I say stop, you do that. It's a
Uh-huh.
level of trust.
Mhm.
It's the same with your tattoo artist.
Mhm.
You're sitting
Yeah.
there with your hopes and dreams and aspirations of this being amazing, all up in the air, and they're sitting there focused and putting all their energy through skin to skin contact that is
With something that's
literally
vibrating.
literally
Mhm.
pushing one energy from one person to
Mhm.
the other. That a lot of people just skip.
Yeah.
They don't understand. They don't get. They don't
realize
realize that
I think some
is
of
the
these
connection.
lessons, and I'm not knocking small tattoos. I'm not saying smaller tattoos are less than by any means, but some of these lessons you can only learn during really large, long tattoo sessions. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yep.
22-hour sessions is not the same as 4 10-hour sessions.
No.
Yeah.
Or a
Absolutely.
2-dayer.
Mhm.
Talk to me about
Oof.
a back to back.
My husband just did that at the Tampa one, and hats off to him, because I personally know myself well enough to know that that's not something that I can do. I
It's
have
a
learned that.
challenge.
I've learned that I haven't. I am not built that way. You know, by hour 6, I'm taking my Tylenol cold and flu because I got the body aches, and I'm like, I still got an hour drive home, and we're gonna fucking make it.
Yep.
Mhm.
I might be falling asleep when I get in the driveway, but I'm going to
But-
make it home.
I back
Well
to back
planned.
my first back sessions. So putting the stencil on my back was 2 10+ hour sessions day after day. And it was like the second day I was just kind of like, can you make it stop hurting? And he was like,
Yeah.
no. I can spray more Bactine on your unopened back, but it's not going to do anything.
So Tony had an out of towner. He's got quite a few out of town clients that come in for, back to back weekend sessions, but he had a gal come in and she has a complete back piece. And I think she did a 3-day back to back session, and full back, heavy saturation. This piece is wild. And I'm like, that chick is built different.
Yeah.
That is some unfuckwithable energy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
That's a
done
level
2
of
days.
commitment I don't have.
I've done 2
and
days
I'm okay.
back
I
to back,
accept
but
that. I accept I
don't
was
know.
not built that way.
I
Exactly.
don't know if I could do 3. I think by the
Nope.
3rd day, I don't know if I would have enough gas.
My
in my tank the 3rd
stick-to-itiveness
day.
is not that strong. I'm on divorce number 2. I'm not sitting through a 20-hour tattoo
I think by day
session.
3,
Fuck
I'm
off.
gonna be like, how about I just pay your day rate for you to not hurt me?
I'll give you all the money you
I
want.
just
Just
take it
stop.
all, and I'll just go eat noodles in my
Here's
hotel
wallet.
room.
Do you want to hang out instead?
Yeah.
Friends,
Yeah.
let's still be friends. No day
Well,
3.
No day
And
3.
no,
like,
day
this
3.
no, yeah, exactly. And this big piece on my leg, I learned things about the canvas that I'm providing, it's probably best that I don't have anything that is super, super detailed or super, super saturated on the side of my knee, because you have about 15 minutes of workable canvas before you got to get out of there. You're not going to get anything else in my skin.
Fawn tattooed my knee. Yeah.
You did good. You did better on your knee than I did on my knee.
Actually, the knee wasn't that bad.
My knee. So for me, it's incredibly hot, but like not as hot as like the knuckles.
See, I
But
also
like
didn't
it's
think
the
my
reflex that makes your leg
Yeah.
straighten, and like it's not something you can consciously control. Like
Right.
Adam was like pushing against my foot. Like, so I actually had my foot between his legs and he was sitting on my foot as he was tattooing my knee. And like my reflexes were so strong that as he worked, I'm just scooting him away from me. And then he'd go for ink, like recoil, and it wasn't anything, I couldn't control it. So I mean, he definitely had tattooed me in more painful areas, like the
Right.
Achilles area around the ankle is way
that
worse.
was bad.
The back of the knee sucks.
That's
I
that's
haven't
where,
done the
that's
back
where
of
I
the knee.
was like,
But the front
I
of the
was
knee
like,
was
you gotta work
the
fast,
reflexes.
sir.
I couldn't shut the reflexes off. And I think that was the biggest challenge for my knee.
Having my buttocks tattooed was like that.
Ooh,
Mhm.
It made my whole leg rise. And the guy that was tattooing me was like, bro, you're good, but like, I can't, I'm not even trying, sit on it. I can't help it. Like, I don't know what else to do. So he just tattooed faster. And I wasn't like writhing in pain. I wasn't like, it hurt. Don't get me wrong, but there was nothing I could do about making my leg rise. Nothing.
I was
feel
so
like-
afraid I was gonna kick him with my heel. I put my other leg over top and I smashed my leg down because I was like, if I kick him, this is gonna suck for both of us. I'm gonna get a ink spot somewhere I don't want it,
Yep.
and he's gonna get a black eye, and I'm never gonna be able to show my face in this place again because I'm gonna be so embarrassed.
And my tattoo's not finished.
It's not finished, and I also have a random spot on my leg. Great.
Right. Luckily, again, I'm very fortunate to have a homie only tattoo policy. So all my friends get it, and I can look at them dead and honest in the face and be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't-
No, there's
I don't want to do this.
there is a
anymore.
wall, like especially when we're homies and we know one
Yeah.
another, and it's easy to like, well, let's rewind. So one time I had a session with Adam and neither of us were really feeling it. He had a lot of stuff going on and I just was not in the groove that day. And we had long sessions on my leg, but we're like 2.5 hours. And he's like, homie, you're not feeling it today, are you? And I was like, I just can't get in the groove, man. Like every time you touch me, I'm like tickly and jerky. And he's like, you're local. Let's just schedule another day in a
Yep.
few weeks. And it was one of
That's
those
nice.
like the discussion from there was, I can keep torturing you and we can be less productive, or we can just come
Do it,
back
yeah.
on a day where you sit like you normally do. And
Same. Did it to Rich. Came in a rush, running late. We're pinching this in. Let's get it done. 45 minutes in. And I'm like, bro, today's not the day. Fucking wrap it up. And he's like, I get it, dude. I got shit to do too. I'm like, okay, so we were on the same wavelength when this whole
Back
fucking
to the
process started.
wavelengths.
Let's just get this done then. Wrap up what you're doing.
That helps.
now
I want a
sometimes
cheeseburger.
when you're traveling, you don't have that luxury. When you're working with an artist who is local to you, you have the luxury of like the
Absolutely.
flexibility of like, if today's a rough day, we got this other day open or whatever.
Right.
But when you're traveling in, there's this whole other element of pressure. Like, all right, I've already blocked off my schedule. That cost me this much.
But that's an
days,
expectation of level of commitment. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why when you make those levels of commitment following I ate my Wheaties the day before, I got my rest, I did everything, I prepared my mental aspect, I'm in a good mood, I've taken care of my body, I'm prepared for this experience, is so fucking important.
Mhm.
And that's why when you don't take the process seriously and you don't follow the proper steps of engagement, you don't respect it enough to have that level of commitment to your session.
Right.
Mhm.
On that note, we just crossed the 9 o'clock hour.
What?
Yeah, we try not to go over 3 hours.
3 hours is
So-
a lie.
Ooh.
But,
Ooh, we
but
did
this
it.
has
Good job.
been an incredible conversation. There were a few little spots that I missed because I was physically driving.
We're best friends
But-
now. I don't know if you knew that.
I gathered.
I had a lot of fun, you guys.
Absolutely. It was great having you on. It's a super easy conversation. It's always nice to talk to people that get it and have the same, again, this community breeds the same
Mhm.
mindset and likeness. And it's amazing to talk to somebody that literally stepped into the process of what we discuss all the time, hit
Mhm.
all the nails on the head. You ran the show like you had a script. Thanks. You made it simple
Yeah.
and easy to talk
Yeah.
to. It's
Anytime.
great. Next time, bring your husband on and we'll all sit and we'll
Yeah,
would love
that'd be
to.
awesome.
we do this
Uh,
once a week and are always looking to talk to people that love to talk about tattoos. So
Yeah, he'd love that. It'd be
amazing.
really cool. And we both use the
Absolutely.
same artist, so it'd be kind of cool to like, see how his
Well,
experience is
and
different from
obviously
mine.
would love to extend an outreach to him as well. We just love to talk about tattoos and people that like them and like doing them. So we'll
Yeah,
definitely
for
make this
sure.
work again.
Cool. Thanks so
Cool
much
deal.
for taking the time to join us. It was awesome meeting you in Tampa, even though that was a train wreck. And we kind of love bringing it up and laughing about it just because we laugh about it. But it
I'm mad.
was
I'm,
cool
I'm
to meet
kind of
some
mad I
people.
missed it, to be honest.
But I
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time to join us. I'm glad you were available this week. And I
Yeah,
definitely
for sure.
look forward to having you on and hearing some more about your collection and your journey as your collection grows.
I
So
want all the new ideas.
yes.
For sure. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to do that. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
It sounds
Great.
like you're the perfect collector that we're always preaching at people to be. You do
You
your
literally
homework,
like went
that.
right
you're
through the
patient,
list. Like
all
it was
the things. Yeah, it's fantastic. So it was great talking to you. And I think it's been a great show. Next
Absolutely.
week will be the
Absolutely.
pre-Hell City show.
Nice.
And then we'll have all the Hell City stuff that will be going live all weekend. So it'll be fun.
Awesome.
Cool.
You
Thank
guys
you
have
so
a
much for
blast. I
joining
wish I
us.
could go.
Well, we'll catch you
Yeah.
next time.
Cool.
For sure.
All right.
All right. Be
Well,
safe. Have a good
everybody
night.
else, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining.